Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, streaming worldwide on WGNSSports.com, and always at the game. The game. It's where you've had breakfast with the coaches since 1992. It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. We'll talk to the coaches about their most recent games and their upcoming opponents. Now from News Radio WGNS, it's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome in to Week 1 of high school football and Week 2 of the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. Brian Barrett along with you here this morning, and we are going to kick things off here in just a few with all of the coaches talking about either last night's games or the Thursday night games that they participated in here in Week 1. All of our local teams in action and some interesting results. We had some county rival games, and we had a lot of non-league games. We had four local teams playing each other, and then, others dipping their toe into non-league waters, and some very close games last night, especially. And we'll look at that on the scoreboard here this morning. First of all, that's your Jennings and Ayers Funeral Home scoreboard. We had our microphones at the Riverdale Smyrna game last night, and I hope you had a chance to either listen or watch that game. And if not, we've got the podcast of both the audio and the video posted on WGNSradio.com. You can also go back and listen on your favorite podcast platform, or you can watch on YouTube, Facebook, and you can check it out there. But again, it's kind of loaded up there on the podcast section of WGNSsports.com under prep games and podcast, things of that nature. 24-14, the final score last night. That was after a scoreless first quarter. And then Riverdale, a safety and a touchdown pretty quickly after that. It was 9-0. And, that the rate things were going, we were pretty deep into the third quarter before all of that happened, and thought, well, gosh, that might be enough. And Smyrna comes roaring back, and Riverdale scores a touchdown late for the 10-point victory in last night's game. 24-14, Riverdale 1-0 with that road win over Smyrna. We'll talk to Will Kreisky coming up, and then after that, Smyrna coach Matt Williams. So the first two interviews will be about that game and their teams. Then Brentwood last night defeated Blackman 24-14, final score. Blackman led, I think, 14-3, if I remember right, at one point in that game on the road at Brentwood. Oakland Patriots a winner over Independence 35-0, and a nice road win and a great way to start the season for the Patriots. It was Stewart's Creek defeating Tullahoma 33-21. And that game was fairly close throughout, and Stewart's Creek really kind of turning things up in the second half in that one. West Creek edges Laverne 13-8 in last night's contest, and it was Nolensville holding off Rockvale 24-21. Rockvale scored a touchdown and got the two-point conversion to tie things late in the game at 21 apiece, and Nolensville with a late field goal with seconds left to pull out the victory. Boy, there's been two really close games with Nolensville and Rockvale over the last couple of years. Middle Tennessee Christian School falls to Columbia Academy 42-20, and Columbia Academy trying to exact some revenge against MTCS, who beat them twice last year. First in the opening game, just like this year, in a 3-overtime thriller, 33-31. And then in the playoffs in the third round, I believe it was, en route to their state title game and state championship for the Cougars last year. So Columbia Academy 42-20 winners. Last night, that was last night's scores on Friday. We've got some Thursday scores for you as well. John and I went to Siegel and broadcast the Shelbyville-Siegel game. They opened up on Thursday night, and it was a 34-22 victory for the Shelbyville Golden Eagles. They had their running back Bailey had 300 some odd yards or so rushing in that game. 34-22, Shelbyville coming out on top, the victor in that one. And Siegel had a couple of chances. They got within one, then got within two, but Shelbyville always seemed to have an answer for them. PCA downs Eagleville 14-6 on Thursday night as well. And Eagleville scored a touchdown to make it 7-6. I think a missed extra point, and then a late touchdown by PCA. And Eagleville did have a drive left, but kind of turned it over on downs around midfield at the end of the game. 14-6, PCA defeating Eagleville. So that is a look at your Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home scoreboard from games Thursday and last night. Next week, the games we're going to be looking forward to and talking about this morning with the coaches alongside the games and the results from last night. Stewart's Creek is at Blackman, and that is the WGNS broadcast game. Stewart's Creek at Blackman next Friday night. Siegel is at Laverne, and Smyrna is at Rockvale. So you've got 3 games, all non-league games, and going to be kind of a rival Friday night with 6 teams playing each other there. Henry County is at Riverdale. Oakland Patriots will travel to Anna, Texas, and I believe it's one of those areas that's outside of Dallas-Fort Worth. So, I mean, it may be like Manchester is to Nashville that Anna, Texas is to the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. But in that general area, Oakland added that game fairly late in the process here just to get their 10 games in. So we'll have Kevin Creasy on later in the program to talk about it. Eagleville is at Community, the Masters Academy at MTCS, and PCA is at Cannon County for next week's games. So we'll be talking all about that with the coaches. Here's our lineup: Riverdale, Smyrna, and Blackman between 9 and 9:45 here this morning. I'm going to take the first leg of the conversation today. Then John Dinkins will have our middle leg of the coaches' conversation at 9:45 Laverne, 10 o'clock Oakland, 10:15 Stewart's Creek, Rockvale at 10:30. And then that will be followed by Siegel at 10:45, Eagleville at 11, and MTCS Cougar Corner at 11:15. So we've got a lot of coaches to get through this morning, and we invite you to stay tuned because the coaches' conversation is straight ahead. I'm Brian Barrett alongside John Dinkins and Danny Brewer this morning. Hope you'll stay with us. We'll have Riverdale football conversation coming up as we kick things off next on WGNS.
Hurry up and try new Little Caesars Crazy Puffs. They're 4 fun-sized puffs packed with layers of pepperoni, cheese, and sauce, and only $3.99. So what are you waiting for? Try them now.
You heard him. We need to go try these new Little Caesars Crazy Puffs right now.
Stuff for it! Drive like the wind, Debbie. Enjoy delicious new Crazy Puffs on the go for just $3.99. Only at Little Caesars.
Pizza, pizza.
Parks Auction. We handle everything.
You have a staff that comes to your home. They tell you what to do. They walk you through it. It's been my experience that what I thought I should get for my home, I got much more for it.
Visit our website at parksauction.com.
Hi there, Parks Auction, 896-4600. Stan Vaught and the Parks Auction team are proud supporters of local high school and MTSU sports.
You've heard people say, you know your work by your name, but there's no better name for residential and business concrete work than Dan France Concrete. From basic slabs to decorative stamping, for your next concrete project, call Dan France Concrete, 615-642-5152.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Trust me, Dan is committed to the community and will offer you a great product. He'll stand behind his work and make sure you're satisfied with every aspect of the work.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
Fast response if the power goes out.
An app that keeps me informed. Tips to lower my monthly bill.
Communication on things that matter to me.
Done, 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 done.
I want to know everything.
Everything? Well, young lady, let me show you the MyMTE app. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Well, we are back here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Little Caesars Pizza with 4 Murfreesboro locations. They're on Memorial Boulevard, Warrior Drive, South Rutherford Boulevard, and Old Fort Parkway. Get hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars. And speaking of Warrior Drive, that's where we're headed now. And Riverdale coach Will Kreisky joining us here in studio this morning. His team a winner at Smyrna, 24-14, in a big rival matchup last night at Robert Rakes Stadium and SRM Field. Coach, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. It was a great night for football. I thought there was a good crowd last night. I thought the both teams had brought a big fan base. It was a nice night for the Bobby Bow. I think it. I really appreciate Smyrna recognize that. I was standing off by myself and I heard them give a little tribute to him, and that means a lot to me. People know how much Bobby Wells means to me and meant to me, and how much he did for me.
You know, the fact that he had such an impact at Smyrna before he even came into the Murfreesboro area. Of course, he had an impact at Blackman as their head coach, and then with you guys at Riverdale. And so, you know, it's easy to honor somebody like that deserves the honor.
Yeah, I agree. He was all about the kids and treating kids the right way, and not ever holding any grudges or holding any penalties against kids. No matter what decisions they made or whatever they did, he never wanted to penalize a kid and hurt a kid, and that's why you have to respect a man like that, especially being in education. Being in education, you're supposed to be about kids and supposed to be about helping kids, and sometimes, you know, people want to teach them a lesson, but sometimes those lessons, you know, they're kids, and they need to be you know, they need to be mentored in the right way, and that's what Coach Wells always did.
And let's face it, when you and I were in school, me much longer ago than you, but those lessons are totally different that we're having to learn, our young people are having to learn now. I mean, these kids have to grow up so fast.
Yeah, they do. It's a different world now, and you know, everybody's adapted to it and rolling, but you know, that's part of it. But anyways, it was a tough game last night. You know, kids fought hard. Kids played 4-quarter game. We escaped one. Smyrna's a really good football team, and Smyrna's probably going to end up winning that district again over there. I was highly impressed with their quarterback play. Their quarterback for Smyrna played really well. He's a first-year starter for them, and I think he moved over to them from somewhere, and he threw some really good balls. He threw two touchdown passes on us. I think one was like a 35, 40-yarder, and he made really good connection, and I was impressed. And I thought the running backs got us early on. They reversed field and got outside on us a few times, and I thought they defense made tackles. And the thing that we did is we didn't give up too many big plays. We made them try to drive. Khalil Armand did a great job setting up field position for us. I mean, we're very fortunate to have him another year. And, you know, when he kicks off, they went in the end zone. And I think Miles Weaver did an excellent job punting. Josh Pelchat has been with me since we've been working together, I think, since 2012. And Coach Pelchat does our special teams. And I think he was just the first game and not ever doing special teams live has you a nervous wreck. And Coach Pelchat was a little nervous, and I think I can't brag on him enough of how our special teams played last night.
Well, at least he has, you know, a kicker punter like Khalil.
Yeah,
you know,
he's got some good ones, and you know, it got it down. We did miss a field goal, but it wasn't on Khalil. I mean, obviously you saw it. It went almost to the track. I think it was a 35-yarder. We attempted it, but it was more of the execution that we messed up on, the snap and the hold. And those are two new guys, and we're going to get it fixed and corrected. And Khalil's going to keep working with them. I mean, I can't brag on. I mean, Khalil's a worker. Mm-hmm. I've never had a kicker that works as hard as he does.
Well, and we were talking last night and even some this morning about, you know, the NFL's kind of gotten this new kickoff rule going, and, you know, it's kind of crazy and people are trying to understand it. And then, you know, the conversation has been, do you bring that into the high school game? But I think there aren't as many that can kick into the end zone on kickoffs on the high school level right now. but you've got one.
Yeah, he does a good job, and when you have something like that, it's special. It's a weapon, and for many years we haven't had that weapon, and now that we do, we're glad to have it. And luckily, he's got a younger brother that'll be a 9th grader next year.
Ah, okay, keeping it in the family,
Yeah.
and well, gosh, he's been kicking since a freshman himself.
Yes,
so
he has.
Will Kreisky here this morning. We're talking Riverdale football. Offensively, last night. Let's talk about a few of the stars. DJ Taylor.
I was gonna say Dominic Taylor. You know, you can't say enough about that young man. He runs with his shoulder pads. He'll run low, run between the tackles. You know, unfortunately, again, you haven't replaced the 9-11. He ran, I think it was almost a 95-yard touchdown that got called back, and it put us in a hole, and we couldn't get out of it. At that point, but he ran the ball really well. He had about 120, 130 yards rushing last night. And had that touchdown at the end. You know, we laughed because I told the coaches, I said, he should have went down. He come by me and he said, yeah, I know you're gonna tell me I should have went down. I said, yeah, but it's hard for me to tell a 17-year-old kid not to score a touchdown.
Yeah. Why would you even be thinking? I mean, it's not even instinctual to do that, you know, at that point. 13 carries, well over 130 some odd yards last night. And not only that, I think it was like 96, 97 yard touchdown that was called back, but had one almost 60 yards last night too.
Yes, he did. He ran the ball real well. And, you know, Caden Bailey, we talked about him last week. He's a good game change up, and he come in and ran the ball well. He didn't have many yards last night. But again, he's a good change up for us and a good compliment to DJ, and I was proud the way he played. But I can't say enough about how our offensive line played. I was really worried about them. Smyrna is really good up front defensively. They are very talented up front defensively, and I thought our guys held their own. And that I don't want to say it surprised me, but with all the youth, I thought there'd be a little bit more mistakes. But they played well, and they played really well as a unit. And I think that's what helped us get the victory last night, is how well they played up front. I'm really proud of those guys.
And even with that youth, you got more consistency with that younger group than maybe more with the kids of the same age would get. And what I mean by that, 7 out of 10 times everything worked out. And when there was one time that maybe there was a busted assignment or whatever, it didn't happen on the next one. So you could almost see like they were learning right there on the field.
They were, and they do a good job. Coach Saramelli has done a great job getting them prepared. I was more disappointed, I think, with our skill kids, some of our receivers. We dropped some balls that we don't drop in practice. Some of our receivers jumped off sides that they usually don't jump off sides, and we got to fix those mistakes if we want to win more games, and we will. Coach Barnes will do a good job getting it all correct and get it fixed. I can't brag on Coach Barnes and how he rotated the quarterbacks. I said, I mean, when you play two quarterbacks, it's kind of tough, but I think they both complement each other, and I think Coach Barnes just knew when to put one in and when to put the other in. He didn't have like a script to say, I'm going to play him this and play two series, and he did a great job, and both of them were very successful at times. Now, both of them made mistakes. Dante's gonna make mistakes. He's a 15-year-old sophomore, but he's going to be special, and he's going to be talented. I mean, he's going to have success, but he's got to grow up a little bit, and he'll get there. He's been out with a high ankle sprain, and he's only been back with us for 2 weeks, so he'll keep getting better every week. And Malachi, he's just, he's played a lot of games. He moved over to us this year, and from Rockville, and he's played a lot of games for them. And last night I think he told me after the game was his first win as a starter, and so that's pretty good and pretty special for him, and I'm glad he got that.
Yeah, and having a senior work with a sophomore who's super talented as well has to help. Tellen had over 115 yards or so, completed a little over half of his passes last night and a couple of touchdowns, and Dante almost gives you like a wildcat look, because he can run.
He also has a really good arm throw. So he overshot some receivers that could have been some touchdowns. But again, that's the youth, and he's going to get that fixed, and he's going to get better. Last night we got back, he was already sitting with Coach Barnes trying to correct those mistakes. But what's good about it is those two quarterbacks probably have one of the better relationships of anybody on the team, and the way they work together and communicate with each other. The long touchdown pass at the end of the game that Malachi threw, I had to jerk Dante off the field because he was celebrating with them. So, I mean,
Yeah.
If he's celebrating over Malachi throwing that long that's just tells you what kind of kids they are and how they celebrate each other's success. And if they keep doing that and keep complimenting each other, that's only going to help us and help our success.
You know, people who have seen the two quarterback system, if you want to call it that, you know, it's like a lot of times it doesn't work. And I think a lot of times it doesn't work because of the cohesiveness with the two quarterbacks. You know, you've got to have some relationship there, I think, and unselfishness for that to work. And that did not seem to be a problem for you last night.
Not at all. And I think our team has accepted it too. And there's no division between we want this kid or we want that kid. They're going to play, and I think they like both quarterbacks, and they understand that for us to be successful this year, we need both of them. And it also helps with DJ, so it's good, you know, to not have to have all the pressure on Dominic this year. So you know, that's really good, and again, it's really helped us, and they're going to keep getting better and keep moving forward.
Will, quick word about your game, your first home game, Henry County coming in, and there's a story there. You've got brand new turf to unveil and all that kind of stuff, so it's a big Friday night for you coming up.
Yeah, we're not going to do our kickoff yet. We kind of wanted to get a few. I think admin decided, I think it was maybe the Coffee County game, that they're going to do it. They'll get it out. We'll get it all out when we want the big ceremony and stuff. But it will be our first game on the turf. And it's against my high school, my former high school, and I think they got 20-something coaches, and 18 of them my dad coached in high school. So I know all those guys, and they've already been calling me this morning and texting me and stuff. So I think it's for me personally, I think it's pretty neat, special that the first varsity football game that we get to play at Riverdale is against my high school, and I'm excited about it. And again, I mean, I'm excited that for the opponent and stuff, but it's going to be a tough game. I mean, they're really good. They're really big up front. It's going to be another big physical game, kind of like last night for us. And they playing a young quarterback. He's a sophomore. I know his family, and I mean that's what's neat about this game. The majority of the kids on there, I know their parents, know their families. So it's going to be a special night for me, and I think my dad will probably be out there with me, probably for pregame warm-up and just hanging out with all his former players and stuff. And that place is different, and football means a lot to them, and it's still the one show in town. So I'm expecting them to bring a big crowd. They travel real well, and I think for my family, it's going to be really special, but also, you know, it's going to be neat for the kids. I talked to the kids last night about they're the first group to play on the turf, you know, have a official game on the turf. So that's something they can always remember.
And Dad can't wear any of that old Henry County stuff.
No, he won't. All he wears now is Riverdale and Blackman.
I got you. Well, Coach, appreciate you coming in this morning. It's been fun catching up. I had a great time at the game last night, and good luck in next week's game.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's great. That is Will Kreisky joining us, the head coach of the Riverdale Warriors. On the Coaches Show, brought to you by Rayburn Insurance Agency agent Rick Hall in Smyrna, an independent agency offering home, business, and auto and life insurance since 1973. Find out more at rayburn.net.
We're talking now with Heather Carpets by Osborne. What are some of the advantages that Carpets by Osborne has?
Being a family business and being locally owned and operated, we do free estimates. We have our own subcontractors that work for our business. We will come out, look at your floor covering. Throughout the whole process, you deal with an individual. You're not passed off to different contractors. We handle it from start to finish.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
Whether you're a student, alumni, or just a fan, Raider Tees has exactly what you need to help you cheer on the Blue Raiders on game days and every moment in between. We sell officially licensed Blue Raider gear, whether it's clothing, hats, flags, chairs, or just whatever. We have it all, including exclusive gear you won't find anywhere else. Like us on Facebook for updates on new Blue Raider gear and special prices or discounts. For all your Blue Raider gear, shop Raider Tees today. Bigger, better, and go blue!
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We are back here on the Coaches Show on News Radio WGNS, and our segment here is brought to you by Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, family owned and operated since 1977. Get the best service with Prentice Allsup Heating and Air online at PrenticeAllsup.com. Our attention turns now to the Smyrna Bulldogs. It just happens to be that we just talked to Will Kreisky of Riverdale. Now we have Smyrna coach Matt Williams. It's really no coincidence. It's been this way since 1993, these two segments. And a coach who's been here with us probably more years than not now is Matt Williams. Good morning, Coach.
Morning, Brian.
It's good to have you here with us this morning. Going to talk about the game, obviously, but last night it's almost like everybody who walked into that stadium from Riverdale side to Smyrna side that maybe has not seen what has gone on there between last season and this season. It's like they had to pick their jaws up off the floor. That new facility sure is a sparkling gem on the campus now.
Yeah, I mean, it's beyond words and just a blessing. And, SRM, what they've done for our, not just our football program, but for our school and our communities, you can't hardly put words to it, but we're very humbled by it and very thankful. And, we don't take it for granted, but it's obviously a beautiful facility. And, we got moved in our new locker room on Wednesday, and that's been really nice. And, of course, the weight room facility is, second to none. So, true blessing. It's a vision. I've been trying to improve our facilities probably since 2012, and Dallas Smith has been a big part of that, and partnering with me on those visions, and so we're just blessed that it finally came to fruition, and obviously SRM Concrete, they were the catalyst behind that, so just very thankful.
Sure, absolutely. And Dr. Sutherland was on right before school started on one of our other shows, and she was talking about all the things that are going on campus and the new addition, which looks like sometime this fall between Halloween and Thanksgiving is going to open for more kids on, more actual new classroom space. And she was mentioning, and she said, and Brian, the press box, they're redoing the press box, and you're going to be excited, but I don't even know what it looks like because Billy Harris said you can't go up there until it's finished. So, did some improvements on the inside there, just making things more efficient, and it's really it seems like you've touched just about everything that you can there to make improvements.
Yeah, Dr. Sutherland administration did a great job, and our school as a whole, I think she's done a great job. When Mr. Rakes, Robert Rakes, was there as principal, obviously facilities were a huge thing, and Mr. Rakes still comes by and checks out the facilities, and he's not afraid to tell you what needs to be improved. So Dr. Sutherland did a great job carrying on that tradition of pride in facilities, and something we take very seriously. And our administration, Billy Harris, Mike Wright, Dallas Smith Construction had a lot to do with that press box as well, and helping with that. And it's just been a cool deal. And Mr. Frank, our construction teacher, has done a great job with his classes and helping with paint and trim and different things to improve that press box. So just awesome job by everybody there.
Most certainly. And, it was really – I mean, all of the preparation, all of the facilities, all of that, I mean, it comes down to giving kids an opportunity to get out on the field. And, there's nothing like the first game of the season. It's also nothing like the first game of the season taking on really an in-county rival. And, the place was packed. And, I mean, it was just really a cool atmosphere altogether last night.
Yeah, I mean, you want to open the season. You want to play tough competition, and I think it has grown to a rivalry. We've played Riverdale now for I don't know how many years in a row, out of conference or out of region. So it's always good to start. We got battle tested last night, no question. They've got a good football team. I think we've got a good football team, and I think it's just the word I would use is frustrated, because I think we felt like we had that game in hand, and to Riverdale's credit, I'm not going to just sit here and talk about how we messed it up. Riverdale made the plays in the last 9 minutes or so of the ball game that made the difference, so hats off to them.
Well, it was a very interesting game. it seemed hard to get into a little bit of a flow, and then there were penalties and things that happened. It just was kind of like a slowly churning game for a while, and then you get to halftime and everything kind of picks up in the second half. So maybe that's just first game, out in the season, kind of a slow start for both sides.
Yeah, there was some silly stuff. I think sometimes our focus on as far as, the refs do a great job. I think a lot of pressure is put on them by the people higher up about knees being covered, the way jerseys are, things that, sometimes I get a little frustrated with. But it was a weird start last night, a weird flow. And I think part of it had to do with the penalties, and part of it, both teams got a really good – I think both teams have pretty good defenses, and so it was hard for the offenses to get in the offensive flow. So sort of a messy game, I guess you'd say, for the first half, being 0-0. And I feel like we did some good things. Bottom line for us is we lost the game because of penalties and poor special teams play, and we've got to do a better job in the special teams game. That's on me. When we lose, it's my fault. So I didn't do a good enough job coaching our kickoff team, and we had an error on the punt team and things that I know those kids are going to correct. They're great kids that work hard, and I know they felt bad about some of the mistakes made last night, but they're things to do. So the positive is they're all correctable.
Yeah. Well, Matt, one of those resulted in a safety, and then this was to start or in the second half. So Riverdale takes a 2-0 lead, then they score, and it's 9-0. And if you were just thinking, well, based on what's happened the first 2 quarters and a third, this would it be enough? And your guys found a way to dig deep to climb back in that game, not once, but really twice.
Yeah, I was proud of our kids' resilience there. I thought we did battle back. I was proud. The positives are I think we answered in moments where we had to against a really good defense. I think our quarterback, Britton Judkins, I felt like he grew last night, and that was positive. That was a really good thing to see because, to be honest with you, we didn't really know. We got a mixed bag from all of our quarterbacks in the preseason scrimmages, so I thought he made some good throws and showed a lot of poise last night, so that was a positive. But I am proud of how we answered. I just don't like how we finished. To me, it was, they answered. Again, to their credit, they made plays when they had to. We made some coverage busts that hurt us a little bit there. They made it 17-14. And to me, you can handle – nobody likes losing, especially me. Y'all know that. I hate it, and especially Riverdale. And at the end there, I felt like, it should have ended 17-14. It was going to end anyway because there's 50 seconds left. We let them pop a run there to make it 24-14. So that was frustrating, and I talked to our team about finishing and pride. And you don't want to ever have a moment where you don't, not that we gave up, we didn't, but you don't want to ever have a moment where you stop playing to your full ability. And I felt like we did that a little bit at the end. That's something we're going to have to fix.
It's one of those scores, too, where the numbers really don't indicate how close things were. It wasn't a 10-point ball game. If anything, it was just a 3-point ball game. And the fact that it wasn't decided until the latter moments was a huge part in that. You mentioned your quarterback, Judkins, 12 of 20 for almost 120 yards and a couple of touchdowns. I would say that's a pretty good night at the office, coming in with maybe question marks of, how is this thing going to go?
Yeah, I thought he really matured and grew last night. And on the big stage, too, it's not like you're playing just anybody. You're playing a team, I think. When I saw the papers come out with rankings, they were, put it like number 5 or something like that. And so I thought he did some good things. I thought Tyreek McCarver made some big plays for us.
Mm-hmm.
The receiver had over 100 yards receiving and a couple touchdowns. So he's a special player for sure. And, I thought at times, we did a good job up front in O-line. We had some issues at times too, but they're not easy to block. I mean, they got a good defense. We've got a good defense. I felt like, and Will and I talked before the game, I did feel like it was a fairly evenly matched game. And I told our team it was going to come down to special teams who made the least amount of mistakes. And unfortunately for us, we didn't do a very good job in either of those categories. So, again, like I said, it's on me. We're going to get back to the drawing board. And tomorrow when we meet at 11 a.m., we'll have some answers. And, we don't get any breaks. You got a tough Rockville team. We got another tough one on the road. So we ain't got time to feel sorry for ourselves.
Matt Williams joining us, Smyrna football coach, and you've already kind of alluded to it, so let's transition to looking to next week. This one is on the road at Rockvale, and last night, just like last year, they were edged by Nolensville late, 24-21. a late field goal after they came back to tie the game and converted a 2-point conversion to make it a 21-all game very late there. So there's one thing about teams in Rutherford County, and I think it's because of our great coaches here, but you better never count anybody out.
No, Coach Guthrie and his staff do a great job, and I haven't gotten into that game very much. Don't know a lot about it, but just saw that they were barely beaten, and Knowles has got a good program. But there's no doubt we're going to have a great preparation. They do a lot of things, just historically that are hard to prepare for. So we're going to have a great week of preparation and really lock in on what we've got to do. We got to get back on the winning side of things, and our schedule's tough, so we don't have the luxury of any warm-up games or whatever you want to call them. So it's just another tough one, which we like. Now that's what we want. We've got the beauty of our schedule is it's tough, but you get 4 games that really battle test you going into your region slate. So it's something we don't back away from, and we look forward to playing tough competition, and Rockville will provide just that.
Well, Coach, good luck next week. And I did want to just make this one point. A lot of times with football teams, we see the most growth all year between game 1 and game 2, and you've coached long enough, and that's a pretty true statement as well. So if your guys come to work and willing to work this week, they will get better. Yeah,
there's no doubt. I have no question. Our kids, we talked about it before the game. I mean, you got to be competitively mature and understand that everybody's going to play a week 1 game, and 50% of them are going to come out on the wrong end of it. Yeah. So you got to be mature enough to understand you got to come back and get better. And I think we'll see that growth. You can't replicate Friday night experience, and that's the thing. A lot of our kids, and I'm sure Riverdale's the same way, a lot of our kids are getting their first real chances at Friday night light experience. So you can't replicate that in any scrimmage. It doesn't matter how game-like you make it. It's not a Friday night football game. It's not a full-quarter football game. So I do think that is true. You usually see your best growth from week 1 to week 2, and I have no doubt in our kids. Our kids want to be successful, and the only thing I talk to them about is some of the little discipline things we deal with, like barely coming out on time to practice, not having a passion for getting to the grass at practice, things like that, or starting. You see those things on the field on Friday nights. They don't understand that. And even problems in the classroom, the kid not acting up or going late to class, that spills over to Friday night football. So we've got to clean some of those things up and be more accountable. And I think our kids will do that. They want to win, and I know they're good kids. So I look forward to getting back on the practice field.
Matt, appreciate it. Thanks for the hospitality last night, and we'll see you back here next Saturday morning.
All right, thanks, Brian.
All right, Matt Williams joining us, the head coach of the Smyrna Bulldogs on the Coach's Show, brought to you by Parks Auction Company. Let their team of experienced and professionally trained staff utilize the auction process to sell your property. More online at parksauction.com.
You can now order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com. We've made ordering online a breeze from sirpizzatn.com. Tap on the location nearest you and begin your order for carryout or delivery. You can order the Royal Feast, create your own, spaghetti, calzones, everything right from our online portal at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service. We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service reminds you that it makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We've been serving Rutherford County since 1988.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're just off Memorial Boulevard at 142 Heritage Park Drive.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Welcome back to the Coach's Show, brought to you by Dan France Concrete, a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. That's Dan France Concrete. Time to talk Blackman football this morning. The head coach, Matt Kreisky, joins us here this morning, and you brought your assistant coach with you too, I see.
Yeah, I think he wants to come now since y'all got these donuts out here.
Hey, the more the merrier. Yeah. We've got good donuts every Saturday morning. Coach, started the season on the road last night at I said it a couple of times last night, maybe one of the toughest places to go play in Brentwood, and they're always solid.
Yeah, that was a great environment. Got to give a shout out to our fans. We had a huge following last night at Brentwood. It was great to see an unbelievable student section, unbelievable fans there to support these young men last night. It was a great atmosphere for our first Friday night high school football game this year.
So talk to me just kind of like the goings on of a football game, and being the first one of the season, and you've got some experienced players and new players, and how all of that works. I mean, when you do anything for the first official time, it's I guess makes a coach pull their hair out, because you've done it hundreds of times.
Yeah. It's different because you got three. We had three scrimmages. The last two we really try to simulate just like it's going to be a Friday night game. But as you know, it's not. The kids know it's not. So mentally, it's not there. So then last night it was the first one. So getting out there for pregame, warming up, and getting all those jitters out, and then getting the kickoff. It's new to everybody, and I really thought we started off well. I thought we did a great job coming out the gate. I was really proud of the kids, how we started the game. Now we just got to get the offense going and play a complete four-quarter game. I thought, all night the kids played hard, did everything we asked them to do. We were in a good situation, up 14-3. I thought Jonathan Hamby was playing well. The offensive line did a great job last night. And then defensively, can't say enough about our defense. I believe it was like 33 or 36 yards, total yards they had Brentwood had at halftime.
That's pretty amazing. Let's talk about the defensive side of the ball first. When you can hold a team to less than 100 yards, really, total offense in the first half, you're doing pretty good.
Yes. What helped them out too, we were moving the ball a little bit. We wasn't having them stay on the field as long. They were doing a great job. We've got great leaders on that defensive side of the ball. Anchored down by D-line by Archie Roseman, a senior. Then we've got two inside linebackers that are seniors, Ethan Carson and Rodney Irvin. Then at the outside, Paul Langford is playing well. And then secondary, we've got some guys that came back from last year, Jalen Anderson. All those guys that had a lot of experience last year, went through a lot of growing pains last year, are doing a great job and everything that we've asked them to do. And it's just their mentality. They want to win, not the game, but they want to win every single rep.
And that's a very important core group for you as being second year Blackman. You're building a foundation, but these kids have to be the one to do it. I mean, you're just the coach, and working toward goals and working toward winning seasons and winning conferences and making playoff runs, and that's a process. And I think sometimes we get frustrated at the process, but it is.
Yeah. Everybody, we want to, win now. And it's, of course we all do. And I hope last night, we can look back 5-6 weeks from now and realize, we learned a lot from game one, what we need to improve on. I don't put it on the kids. I put it on myself. It starts with me. I feel like I did some things that hurt the kids last night, so I've got to put them in a better position when we get in those situations where we can excel. And, when we're up 14-3 and go up 21-3, instead of offensively stalling out. So, it wasn't all on the kids. I think it starts with me. I did some things that I need to correct and get adjusted, and we'll, as we move forward, we're going to get those things fixed.
We're talking Blackman football. Matt Kreisky is here with us. Now, I'm a little fuzzy on exactly how the scoring went, but I know you led for first half, maybe first three quarters? How did it kind of work?
Yeah, we got up. At halftime it was 7-3. I felt like coming out of halftime, I told the coaches, would like to get Jaden Guy the ball early, see what he can. He didn't have many. I think he had maybe one touch in the first half, but I felt like if we got him the ball early, maybe we could go up 14-3. We were able to hit him on a deep ball. He scored a touchdown, so we went up 14-3. We're feeling pretty good. Next series our defense comes out. We make a stop. So we're up 14-3 midway through the third quarter. We kind of, if we get going and grind the ball out, keep moving the ball, keep our defense off the field, I felt like, and get some points off that next drive, I felt like we could really put the game away. We didn't capitalize when we needed to, and we let Brentwood kind of ease back in the game. And you can't do that at all with the Brentwood team. When they had Coach Ron Crawford, now Coach Clint Finch, those guys are always well prepared, have their teams well prepared. And so, we let them hang around. And once you let a good team like that hang around, they were able to, get going and get some momentum. And you saw the game kind of change right there towards the end of the third quarter and the beginning of the fourth.
And when you're on the road at their place and that team gets momentum late, it's even more difficult for the opposing team to regain that momentum, and it's almost like they start going downhill. It's hard to stop the rolling ball.
Yeah, you could tell we had our defense out on the field a little too long. They were getting it was obvious they were getting gassed. So. We got to find ways that that they're not on the field as much as they were last night. That's again, that, like I said earlier, that starts with me. I got to find ways that in those situations we've got to be successful on offense and keep the chains moving and letting those guys get a little bit more rest, so they'll be ready when they come back out for the next series.
Matt, a couple of stats on some of the offensive players last night. Your quarterback, Hamby, 11 of 17 passing, almost 160 yards, and a touchdown. Kemp rushed for almost 100 yards on 13, 14 carries, had a touchdown in there, so he was your workhorse as well. And you mentioned Jaden Guy, caught three passes for almost over 110 yards and a touchdown last night. So you've definitely got these kids here who are working hard for you, and I know others had good stats too.
Yeah, no, again, it starts with up front. I thought we were running the ball well early. Thought we did pretty much all game. Those guys did a great job. With Hamby coming out, starting his first game, you could tell there was a little nerves there, but he kind of, started to settle down and started to play. And I know each week he's gonna get better. Like you said, we've got to find ways to get Jaden Guy the ball more. Just create more opportunities for him and other guys. Brylan O'Dore, John Dragoo. Those guys can also open up some things. So we've got to find ways to help Hamby get them the ball. Where he's not thinking much and get the ball out of his hands. And he's got a great arm. So we've got to do things, be more creative to help him out.
Well, I've always heard, and you've been around the game long enough to know, but you really kind of see the biggest growth in a team from 1 week to the next between weeks 1 and weeks 2. You think that's the case?
I do. Are we going to come back Monday feeling sorry for ourselves because we didn't win last Friday? Or are we going to come back Monday ready to work and improve on the areas that we need to improve on? If we do that, like I feel like we will, I think you'll see a big improvement from week 1 to week 2.
You also have a county team coming in to play, and I don't care if Stewart's Creek is in Smyrna. If you are in Rutherford County, you want to beat the other team that's in Rutherford County that you're playing. And, it's pretty special that we've kind of got that type of rivalry. You've, of course, been in a county that has, Williamson County obviously had those big rivalries. So, I mean, these are pretty special games. And when they're non-league games, too, it it really helps to bring the crowd and excitement and gets the kids all pumped up.
Yeah. As you look at our schedule, I don't think there's any week in there that you can really just. I feel relaxed. Week in and week out, I feel like we're going to get some great competition, and like you said, Stewart's Creek's going to come out. They're going to be ready to play. They're going to bring a crowd. It's going to be a nice place, nice atmosphere next week at Blackman. I was able to watch about 30 minutes of film before I came over here. Offensively, they're going to be able to run the ball. They got a very athletic quarterback. Their tailback last night, I think he broke about a 70-yard run. So we're got to be able to contain those guys. Defensively, they look like they're pretty fast defensively. They're going to move around and fly the football. They got after us last year, and so we got to be ready. Like we said, we've got to improve. We got to start with Monday. We got to improve and get better, not feel sorry for ourselves, and get ready for the week two game. So we can the goals we have set out for this season. We've got to keep moving toward those.
Matt, it's also first time of the year hosting, and there's a lot that goes into a football game day anymore. And I know from the administration staff, you've got a lot of people that make that go, so you can focus on the football game. But I mean, it takes everybody at Blackman. Oh yes, I can't say enough about Mr. Lawless and his crew that he gets it done. It's his first school that I've been at where I don't have to really worry about any of those things, and they want me just to focus on coaching the game, and I really appreciate everything that they do from the game day setup, everything getting ready, off the field things that he takes care of with him and his athletic staff. They do an unbelievable job, and I'm really appreciative of them. Well, he is my next text this morning, because that's where we're going to be next week, is at your place as Stewart's Creek comes in, and it's always great. He's really done a fine job, and Mr. Smith, everybody. Yes. Just A1 out there at Blackman. So we look forward to coming out to your place next Friday night, Coach. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on today. Absolutely. Matt Kreisky joining us, the head coach of the Blackman Blaze, here on the Coaches Show, which is brought to you by the law offices of John Day, providing superior legal representation to injury victims and their families. Find out more at johndaylegal.com.
Stickers, labels, we do a lot of direct mail, booklets, manuals, programs. My name is Jeff Carlton. I handle sales and marketing for Franklin's Print Works here at Murfreesboro. We are at 2227 South Park Drive. Franklin's Print Works has been in Murfreesboro for over 25 years. We are a full-service commercial printer. We offer everything from business cards to brochures, booklets to banners, everything in between. Our website is franklinsprinting.org.
Winners Trophies can help you with customized awards for any occasion. Owner Kelly Hockenberry continues to provide awards for sports teams, churches, recognition awards, and more. Call Winners Trophies at 904-6002. That's 904-6002 for the best in quality, service, and pricing. You can also email Kelly, winnerstrophy@comcast.net. That's winnerstrophy@comcast.net. Any award for any occasion. Winners Trophies, 904-6002.
We're here at Rick's Barbecue catching up with Anne-Marie Brents, who tells us not only do they have barbecue, smoked chicken, loaded baked potatoes, but the slaw dogs are out of this world.
I do love the slaw dogs. People are like, is that a big sausage? I'm like, no, it's a deep fried hot dog. And the slaw that we put on them is a spicy mustard slaw. It's actually really good. I like to dip it in white sauce.
Rick's Barbecue has awesome deals to feed the entire family.
We have family packs, and it can feed 4 to 6 people. We have a picnic pack, which is the family pack doubled.
Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive.
Renters, when you combine State Farm Auto and Renters Insurance, you will save money. I'm State Farm Agent Dana Womack, and I'd love to talk to you about combining your auto and renters insurance to help you save. Call me at 615-900-0877.
In Rutherford County, you know how much it means to have neighbors that you can count on. I'm State Farm Agent Ron Reeves, here to help life go right when you combine home and auto insurance. Call me at 615-873-1700. Let me save you money and time.
For 150 years, First National Bank of Middle Tennessee has been helping local businesses with their banking needs. Hi, this is Justin Burris, commercial banker at the 1708 Gateway Boulevard office. Let us show you how easy it is to do business with a true community bank. Local people making local decisions for our friends and neighbors like you.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. We show up for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 401715.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And this portion of the Coaches Show is brought to you by Middle Tennessee Electric, serving our community by providing affordable, reliable, and safe electricity. Online at MTE.com. John Dinkins here with you, going to carry you pretty much the rest of the way, except for Cougar Corner, I guess. So, Coach, joining me here is Coach Mike Woodward of the Laverne Wolverines. Coach, how are you? And I hope you had a great summer.
I'm good, John. Summer was good. Yeah, summer was it was short, but it was enjoyable. How you doing?
It's always short. I'm doing great. It seems like it gets shorter and shorter too, you know.
It sure does.
Another game with West Creek, another low-scoring contest. You guys just seem to be you battle it out each and every year that you played so far.
Yeah, they've got. They're a very tough, physical-minded team, very much like we want to be. And I thought it was a great game last night. It was tight, physical. Like I said, both teams wanting to run the ball first, run the ball second. Throw when you have to. Defensively, I know we gave up more rush yards than we would like, and they've got a very big physical back. But the fact is, we just gave up 13 points, and we got to be able to win if we just give up 13.
Yeah.
So we had opportunities. I mean, we had three different play action plays, and of course, running triple. We're going to run the ball a lot, but we've got to make big plays in the pass game. And I mean, we had three different drives where we've got someone 5 to 8 yards behind everybody in a red jersey, and we overthrow two of them and get sacked on the third. So. We just got to get better in that area, but we will. We're young. We had 7 guys making their first varsity start last night on the offensive side, so I feel good about how we were able to run the ball, and I feel like the mistakes that we made or the opportunities we missed, we can fix those as we get more reps.
Not an easy road trip either, is it? I mean, to Clarksville. I know it's not that far in terms of mileage, but the way to get there can be a little bit. And for those guys that are getting their first varsity start, a little bit, it's probably some butterflies too, I guess, early.
Oh, definitely butterflies, and definitely a long trip. Definitely, it's not. We don't even have another trip that's even close to it. I mean, we're getting out of school, getting dismissed early to come down and eat and load the bus so that we can hurry up, get on a bus, and sit for an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But thankfully we didn't come across any worse Nashville traffic than normal. I mean, we were able to get up there with plenty of time to get taped up and go through our normal, pregame routine. So all that stuff was great. And they were very hospitable. So, there were no issues there. And it was as close to normal as it could be, aside from the fact that, we spent a little more time than normal on the bus.
I'm talking to you here, and I know it was a close 13-8. You lost by 5, but then again, Coach, I hear some real positive in tone in your voice that they did some things that you wanted them to do, and something to build on from this game.
Definitely, and I've learned over the years I try not to say too much after a game because I want to see the film first. And when we left the field last night, I was upset. I felt like we were out physical. I mean, like I said, they had a big back that we would like to have done a better job on, and I felt like offensively we could have been a little more consistent running the football, or would like to have seen more there. But I mean, we had a 15-play drive that we just didn't finish. And we had an 11-play drive where we didn't get points. And then, like I said, we had those 3 shot plays that we missed, and then on another drive we had a fumble inside the 20. So I feel like, we lost 13-8, but if we hit just one of those 3 passes, or if we don't fumble, or then we had another one where we hit the pitch and we've got our back going down the sideline, and his hamstring, he cramps up. It looks like he pulled it. The way he pulls up while he's running, but he's going to score if you don't pull up. So I feel like it's 8 points, but we had opportunities to score, mid to high 20s if we convert just half of those. So, a lot of positives for this young group to work on, and I feel like they'll come back Monday. I got a lot of faith in these guys, and I feel like they'll come back Monday ready to work at these smaller details so, we can be more successful.
Coach, you mentioned the defense. I think that's amazing that they held them to 13, and evidently, from what I'm hearing, they had the size advantage quite a bit on you guys.
Yes, yeah, they were big up front. Like I said, in their back, I don't know what his height and weight was. I just know he was a big physical dude, and he was bigger than any of our linebackers. And
he's the kind of guy that you see when he walks on the field. It just shows up, and he's like, "Whoa, there's a guy right there, man."
Yeah. You're pregame, and you're like, "Yeah, he's we're gonna have to bring our A game."
Yeah, and obviously you did, and that's good to think about in the long run, because once defense holds, now you just got to pick it up on offense a little bit. Again, the 3 or 4 opportunities you had. Boy, I know you sit there and go, "Gosh, I wish we had them back." But then again, that's football, and that's the way it bounces sometimes.
It is, and that's like I said. I can't, I hate that we lost because we definitely felt like there should have been a different outcome last night. But when I remind myself about the youth that we have out there and about how many of them were playing for the first time. And, a lot of these misses, to me, are simple fixes, that we can show them on film and they'll learn from it. And, it sounds weird, but I think we should gain some confidence and see that, we had a lot of scoring opportunities out there that we just missed on. So let's just work at, picking up that linebacker stunt a little bit quicker. Let's look at putting a little more air on the ball when we've got somebody wide open down the field. Just little things that we can fix to where, down the road, we're not talking about 3 missed opportunities down the field. We're talking about, hey, we hit 2 out of 3 and there's an extra 14 points, things like that.
Mike Woodward, our guest here on the Prentice Salsa Heating and Air Coach's Corner. Mike, and a good solid performance by everybody, is there anyone that kind of stood out that surprised you a little bit? Maybe one of the youngsters that you went, wow, I wasn't expecting that. I know you kind of temper, your feeling about teams and about your ball club, but is there anybody that stood out for you?
Man, there was a bunch. I'll name some names. I
right.
feel like I left somebody out, but I feel like starting with our quarterback, Drayden DeMoss. He's a junior who missed all last year because of a knee injury. So not only is he making his first start, he's playing his first real game in 2 years, and I know we talk about missing some deep balls, but I thought in the run game, with our option stuff, I thought he did a really good job reading it and made a couple plays, with his feet, and and I knew he was going to be, jacked up excited for the start of that game, so I thought he did a good job of controlling his emotions and playing. Our fullbacks, we try to do a 2-man platoon, but it ended up being a lot of Roderick Bohannon at fullback last night, and it was his first start, his first varsity action of any kind, and he ran the ball really hard for us. So Cameron Samuel, played football last year, was his first year, and he caught the touchdown pass for us, and had an opportunity for a second one, just had that cramp hit, but he's a threat with the ball in his hands. So on the offensive side,
now you went to
I thought those guys. Go ahead.
You went to the triple option one. Is that right? Last year?
Yes.
Okay.
Midway point last year.
Yeah, and it kind of turned things around a little bit. So I know you're a really kind of believer in this offense. And is that something that you see down the road? Laverne's going to be going, well, they run the triple option, and because it's something that works well for your kids.
That's exactly right. I think it works well for us, and it's something, it's something different from what everybody else is doing, and it's hard to. It's hard for scout teams to really, give their defenses a look at that during the week. And it's just, it's on me because, I'm an old spread guy and I would like to sling it around. So it's on me to be patient because it's a completely different type of mindset. But yeah, I think the kids enjoy it. And again, I think, they see that we can get big explosive plays. It's just different from what they're used to seeing.
Well, I think it's awesome of you you kind of know your personnel, and sometimes you have to change your offense according to your personnel to what you have.
Yeah, we do. And but like I said, we're excited about it. And I want to go back to, there's one more guy on the defensive side, Cam Williams, played really well for us last night. I mean, on the offensive side too, he had a couple of catches, but played really well defensively, both sides of the ball, and thought he did really well last night.
And I'll tell you, anybody that you left out, you didn't mean to, okay?
That's exactly right.
Because I know that's hard.
My mind is spinning right now, trying to make sure I mention all the names I need to. But those guys, played really well. And like I said, I can't say enough about our guys with the effort last night. We're not happy about the outcome at all, but I think there's a lot of things to look at, that we can build on and come back excited on Monday.
All right, we've got you at home next week. I know you're going to be glad to be home, and you face a pretty tough Siegel Stars team. Took a loss to Shelbyville, but you can't underestimate them.
Oh, not at all. I mean, this is a county game now, so, we're not to the region part yet, but county games are big. And like you said, it's a home opener for us, so that's going to be big. I'm sure we're going to have, a big crowd on hand from both sides, so should be a great environment, and we're going to be excited to go.
Get a big crowd out there for Laverne and on their home opener. Mike, always a pleasure talking to you, and good luck next week.
All right, thank you, John.
All right, that's Mike Woodward, the head coach of the Laverne Wolverines, and we're going to take a little break. And when we come back, Kevin Creasy will be in the house, and we'll be talking Oakland football.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
How about a fix for your sweet tooth? Donut Country is open 24 hours a day to cure your cravings. They've been serving up the freshest donuts in Murfreesboro since 1978. There's just something different about donuts from Donut Country. Bo and Cindy Davis and their wonderful staff will greet you with a smile, and you'll see all donuts aren't created equal. Fresh donuts anytime you want them, 24/7 at Donut Country on Memorial down from Clark. And they're open each morning on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. Check out their Facebook page for specials and promotions. Nothing else compares to Donut Country. Open 24 hours.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is a paid legal ad.
When a family member is lost as a result of someone else's negligence, the grief can be unbearable. It also leaves you with a lot of questions like, how did this happen? Who's responsible? And is my family going to be okay? That's a lot to go through, but with the law offices of John Day on your side, you don't have to go through any of it alone. We understand what you're going through, and we have the experience to get the answers, justice, and compensation your family deserves. Call the law offices of John Day.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
If you're a homeowner with a quarter acre or several, Las Casas Feed Supply focuses on premium feeds and dog foods you won't find in the box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
Family owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, inviting you to stop by, visit, and enjoy the country.
Customer service expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Las Casas Feed is also your place for local milk from the MTSU Dairy on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
With all the financial headlines, are you wondering if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. If you have more questions than answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. Stop by our office in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard or give us a call at 615-907-7056. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And this portion of the Coach's Show is brought to you by Carpets by Osborne, who would love to help you complete any job, whether residential or commercial. Carpet, tile, hardwood, vinyl, rugs, and more. Locally owned, online at carpetsbyosborne.com. And as Danny Brewer would say, I'm proud as punch. Something like that. to have Kevin Creasy here, the head coach of the Oakland Patriots. And, Coach, big win last night, a shutout. I know that's always exciting, and not a long road trip, but one is a pretty tough little place to play at Independence.
Yeah, Independence had a packed house. Student section was definitely loud and proud and making a lot of noise, packed to the gill over there. So real impressed with their fan base and how they support their school, and definitely good to come out with a win, on the road.
It's that having that under your belt, that first win, because I know we're going to talk about this road trip you got coming up. You did have a little bit of a bump with Morris, and tell us a little bit of what you know about that or whatever.
Yeah, don't know a lot. I know he's headed to TOA this morning and got hurt first play of the game, so hope to have him back real soon. Dynamic player, and it's tough when you have a guy like that go down first play. Frustrating, really. We've had such a tough scrimmage schedule with 3 quality opponents and playing the jamboree and all that stuff, and try to take care of him as much as we can. And then it's just part of football. Guy out there blocking and unselfishly blocking, and got a pancake on it. So I told him the good news is he's 1 for 1. He graded out 100%, so he did a really good job on that play. Just unfortunate, somebody rolled up on him, and it happens, and hopefully there's no break or anything like that, no tear, and maybe we can just ice it and get him back here in a few weeks.
And Coach, I think a lot of people don't understand. You've been injured. You've had your share of injuries over the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, it hasn't been like an easy road down there to pick up of those wins, but I think every year you've had somebody that didn't start the season or perhaps was injured and then came back midway. We can name several, I guess.
Yeah, it happens, and like I said, it's a part of football. That's hard for moms sometimes to understand stuff like that, but it's just part of the game. It's one of the toughest part of the games, but like I said, he's made out of the right stuff. He'll rehab well, and in the meantime, we'll let him coach up some of these younger running backs. I think it gives our younger running backs a great opportunity to step up and get some quality reps against quality opponents. And like I said, they'll have to grow up fast.
I want to talk about, this is one of my favorite guys here, and I don't know him personally, but I love Craig Tutt. He had 90 yards and carries, and kind of an unsung hero, I think. I mean, he did a lot of good things last year as well. Had a big game last night.
Yeah, he did.
I call him King Tut, by the way,
okay.
on the radio.
That's a good little name for him. That guy, he's a dynamic player on defense. Just always making plays on defense, and then important part of our special teams. So found out if we give him the football, he makes things happen. A lot of his runs last night, there were not a lot of hoes and not exactly people blocked the way we wanted it, and he made something out of nothing. You know what I mean? So he's that kind of guy. So just all natural, good athlete, super football player.
When you say all natural, that's what I think. It's like he has a radar for the ball. I mean, he just knows where to be at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, he does. And, it's one of those deals where you're like, hey, don't coach that guy. Don't coach that guy too much. Let him just do all this on his own. We don't want to make him think too much and screw him up, overcoach him. He's just got a natural ability to make plays on both sides of the ball.
Kyler Creasy with a good game last night. Had a bomb as well, 7 of 9 for 155 yards. That's more than enough than what you need out of him, really, isn't it?
Yeah, just got the clock running in the second half, and didn't want any more injuries. Believe it or not, we're really thin this year at a couple spots, and so we don't have the depth we normally do. So we were just trying to get out of there. Not worried about patting the quarterback stats or anything, just worried about getting out of there safe and not getting anybody else hurt and get on the bus.
Particularly, you don't want him to get hurt because he faced that last year, and that was a kind of a tough year for him, but he rebounded well with a good opener. We can talk about some other guys here. Caleb Ellison, 9 tackles and 1 for a loss, 1.5 for a loss.
Yeah, Caleb's our quarterback on defense, so leading tackler last year, leading tackler last night. had an excellent game. I think he's got a good core of linebackers around him. So, we pretty much played with 3 linebackers, and all 3 of them had a heck of a game. And, they had a 6'6" quarterback out there throwing it around a little bit, but running the option. And, option responsibility is something you don't get to see every day. I think it's the only option team we'll play this year. So we're real proud of our guys being disciplined and knowing, who had what on each play they had.
It's very unusual a lot of times to see shutouts in the first game, and it's also penalties and that kind of thing can always be a problem. Evidently, you didn't have that big of an issue with that last night.
Yeah, we real happy with how we covered our knees up. That seems to be important. Every year, I don't think we had anybody have their knees uncovered or any of that stuff. We didn't have any dress code violations. I think the only sideline warning, I think I got on the field one time to call a play, and it was a warning, luckily not a penalty, or I'd have to roll on the ground after practice Monday. But luckily they're going to forgive me over just a warning. But for the most part, it was a pretty clean game, except we had a couple bad snaps, just cost us in the red zone twice. Just completely over the quarterback's head, and one time we were in the Wildcat and snapped it over his head. But besides the snaps, I think it was a pretty clean game, and like I said, there's a lot to correct from one week to the next, and got a lot of good film to watch and try to get these guys better between week 1 and week 2.
Kyrie Gaynor, I'm running out of time, but 4 tackles, 2 interceptions, a block kick. Part of that defense, that's I kind of call it the Oakland way defensively.
Yeah, that's one thing. Our guys aren't very big, and we'll definitely see that next week. We're facing a team that's big all over the place, but Kyrie's a guy that plays like he's 6'2". Like I said, going in blocking kicks and having 2 interceptions. He's definitely a guy that had a great night. Like I said, there was a bunch of people that showed out, proud of the way our defense, got they were backed up in the red zone a couple times and came away with a shutout. And like I said, they have a heck of a kicker, and for us to put pressure on him and to make him miss one and block the other one, that was huge.
And one more, T.T. Hill had a 77-yard TD reception and 29 yards rushing and a touchdown. He's a kind of versatile kind of guy. I mean, he can do a lot of things, can he?
Yeah, his touchdown run was a tough run. There wasn't a lot of daylight there, and he just lowered his head. And, the very next series, he goes over the top of the defense and catches a bomb. Kyler put a good pass right on the money. So, he's a weapon that we got to get, involved more now that DeJuan may be out a little bit.
And one thing before we talk about Texas, you get a lot of in the last few years, and the clock running, and there's some negatives to that. You don't get a lot of times you don't get some of the players, the regular players, but it does give you an opportunity to get some guys in that running back. On the defensive end, has that helped overall? I mean, in the last 3 to 4 years, I would think it would have to help some.
Yeah, I think so. It's different playing under Friday night lights than it is Monday night lights. JV games are important, but at the end of the day, they're still JV games. So getting out there and real ball games is important, and we got some guys in the action. And like last second, we ran out there for a last second field goal. Everybody may think, why are you running out up 35-0 for a last-second field goal? Well, we got a brand-new kicker. He missed his first one, so we wanted to, see if he could run out there and make his second one. He missed that one. So we've got to get, more real live game action with our field goal guys. And the snap, the hold, the kick, the blocks, all that stuff's important. And, one of these days it won't be 35-0. That field goal will be a whole lot more important. So we want to get all our young guys some experience.
And real quick, let's talk about Texas. You already mentioned that they're big, and let's not forget it's a long road travel to get there. And they're pretty solid.
Yeah, they are. Coach Parr, his brother's actually college coach at Louisiana Tech. Both those guys are well respected all over the country, and Seth Pars won the state last year and almost won every game since he's been at Anna, Texas. And I think they were 4A state champs last year. They're playing in 5A this year. The quarterback's back. Got some big old linemen, big old defensive linemen. All the things that always give us a little bit of trouble. So, we got our hands full, that's for sure. Not to mention, a 10-hour bus ride, stuff like that. But, that's why you play at Oakland. We play around here, and we play across East Tennessee, West Tennessee, and then, we've played the state champs out of Indianapolis, the state champs out of Mississippi, and now we're playing the state champs out of Texas. I mean, that's good competition. And when they're non-region games, you play good competition. You find out a lot about yourself. And like I said, those guys, they're well coached at every position, and it's exciting to see what all we can learn from this game.
I guess you'll be calling next week.
Yeah. Call me. I'll probably be awake. So just give me a ring, and we'll talk over the phone.
Are you the dean of coaches now? Are you have you been at Oakland longer than anybody else in Rutherford County now? That just popped in my head. I think you may be.
Coach Williams, I think, at Smyrna.
Yeah, that's right.
I think he's
that's
been
right.
there longer.
So he's the
Yes,
elder. Okay.
he is.
Well, let him keep that.
That's right.
Coach, appreciate it, and good luck next week.
All right, appreciate it.
And safe travels as well. That's Kevin Creasy, the head coach of the Oakland Patriots. This portion of the show is brought to you by Rick's Barbecue, serving up the best smoked barbecue, ribs, and many local favorites on Warrior Drive. Locally operated by Anne-Marie Brents and the Lanning family. When we come back, Ben Caudill, the head coach of the Stewarts Creek Redhawks, will be our guest.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Life's too short to stress about insurance. That's why Ray Call at Rayburn Insurance is here to make sure you have the right coverage without all the hassle. He'll work hard to provide you with personalized service and finding the best solutions for you and your family. Whether you're looking for auto, home, or business insurance, Rick Hall's got you covered. Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency. Let him handle the details so you can focus on what really matters.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom designed jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
Craig's Tax Service is located just off Memorial on Heritage Park Drive. You can contact us at 890-2233.
It makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We are proud to support all Rutherford County student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And this portion of the Coaches Show is brought to you by First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. If you're looking for a hometown feel with your bank, well, you only have to turn to the First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, offering full-service banking and mortgage services. John Boy still here? Still talking. We got Ben Caudill, the head coach of the Stewarts Creek Redhawks. And first of all, always a pleasure. First time we get to talk, really talk. And big win last night. Big win.
Yes, sir. Always good to be with you guys on Saturday mornings.
The game was kind of back and forth for a while, particularly in the first half. And we were getting, from your AD, we were getting a lot of updates. So we kind of could follow along with you. But let's talk about the game, how you feel about it. I know there's some good things in a game like that. There's probably some great things that happened, and then there's probably some things that didn't happen so well.
Yeah, I think that's well said, and really, really tough and good Tullahoma opponent. You know, they beat Nolensville in the first round last year, ran into, a really good Williamson County team in the second round as well, and really good team last year. I thought they were better this year. That's what we told our players.
So they didn't catch you by surprise, because I kind of felt like it would be a tough game.
No, not at all. We went down there last year, and, you know, Coach Olive is still the AD down there. He's passed the torch to Coach Sis. Both of Coach Olive's sons are on the staff, and, you know, just a really strong community that cares about their team and rallies behind them. And I think they're going to have a great season. And, you know, the first half was, like you said, I think there were some missed opportunities for us to, you know, kind of change the game a little bit. We had them backed up to the 10-yard line, and they had a player whose helmet fell off, and he kept running, and we tried to tackle him. So we ended up getting 30 yards of penalty on one play, and it was kind of hard to know what to tell your guys in that situation. And, so it was an exciting kind of back and forth first half, and they ended up. Me and Coach Michaels, our special teams coordinator, we were talking at half, thinking they might onside it to start the third quarter, and they did. And so anyways, we get down that first series to the 5-yard line and just had a crushing fumble, you know, there that would have put us up 2 scores there right at the start of the third quarter. But, you know, the good news is we had to fight through some adversity, and I'm proud that our team was able to do that over the course of 4 quarters.
33-21 win. Taking a look at some of the stars of that game, Caleb Floyd. I was expecting this, but 22 rushes for 96 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's quite an athlete.
Caleb's been a big-time player for us since his sophomore year. You know, he tore his ACL in January of 23 and didn't miss any games. That really tells you, all you need to know about him. Just a phenomenal young man, great football player. He contributed on defense as well last night, and just proud of what he's been able to do this offseason and on Friday night. Jeremy Smith, 13 times, 231 yards and 2 touchdowns. I had to look twice at that. And while I'm at it, I'm talking Jerry Taylor, 2 for 3 for 23 yards and a TD, and rushed 8 times for 89 yards. Is the running game something that you're going, okay, this is a strength of ours in our offensive line, and we're gonna run the ball more? Or did it just that particular game you saw, okay, we can run, and we did? Well, I tell you, the good thing about Jerry at quarterback is, we called several passes last night that he ended up, running the ball on and just, took it. And, so we've got a lot of things that, we kind of wanted to show in the pass game last night and didn't really, have the opportunity or just wasn't the right time, in the flow of the game to do it. But his first start and definitely didn't want to put too much on him, and his, first Friday night start. And Jeremy Smith, I can't say enough about him, didn't play a whole lot, started one game as a junior, never complains, and in this era of high school football, John, it's pretty impressive. We had several seniors on the field for the first time last night that didn't play hardly at all as juniors, and he's one of them. And just so proud of him, and he'd be the first to tell you about giving the credit to several of his teammates for the success he had last night.
That's a pretty tough opener. I mean, really, Tullahoma, and especially the success they've had the last couple of years. And you guys have been successful. As you go on, and how big a win was this? I mean, in your mind, that had to be pretty special.
I tell you, for all the guys on our varsity team last night, it's the first time we'd opened at home. The last 2 years with the schedule change, we ended up on the road, the first week of the season, and so that was something we talked about all week, just being at home, and everything that comes with opening at home is big for us. And, so we were excited to be able to do that for the first time since 2021. And our guys were definitely excited and did what it took to pull it out last night.
And crowd, I guess, was tremendous. It always is when you get out there at a home game for Stewart's Creek.
Oh, no question. I mean, all 3 campuses are right there. It's just very special. Coach Harris and all of our administrative team does a great job in making it just a really, really awesome place to be on Friday nights. We're talking to Ben Caudell, the head coach of the Stewart's Creek Redhawks, a big win over Tullahoma last night. And any surprises, anybody that kind of surprised you in the opener? Because a lot of times, Jeremy, for instance, the performance he had, but then maybe there's somebody else that caught your eye and go, wow, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I tell you, this week, the first kind of full week back in school, we'd been preaching to our kids about just staying healthy and going to bed and sanitizing and all those things, and we really battled. The illness was really rampant in our locker room this week, and we had several guys that really all at the same position that kind of missed multiple practices, and both of them tried to suit it up last night, and I'm so proud of their toughness. And so we had several guys that got some quality reps last night. Jonathan Hadley stepped in kind of on short notice with some of those illnesses throughout the week. I thought he did a great job, and several guys that are out there for the first time. Taj Roseburg's been a stud for us in basketball and came to me in the offseason saying he wanted to play. He had a big pick there late in the fourth quarter, kind of to seal it. At safety, was really proud of him. So several guys like that, kind of their first action on a Friday night, I was really proud of.
I think people a lot of times don't realize how much coaches have to deal with other than just the game itself. Yeah. You had illnesses, and then when you have travel, and you've been experiencing that opening day travel, and all those little things it kind of adds up, doesn't it? I mean, and school problems or personal problems even.
Yeah, shoot, it's our kids are going through so much and being attacked with so much nowadays. And my first game ever as a head coach was at Mount Juliet in 2020, and we had 15 players. About half our first offense was quarantined during that week, and so it makes kind of weeks like this a little bit of a walk in the park.
Yeah, I can see that.
But goodness gracious, these being a teenager right now is really hard. And I got an email from a parent this week about a young man on our team, and what he's going through right now is just so difficult. Mm-hmm. And it just reinforces that there's so much more than football going on, and football is a great outlet for these young men to learn about life and learn about toughness and learn about persevering. And I'm thankful we have the coaches on our staff that prioritize that.
I did want to mention one more person, Grady Harvey, a touchdown reception and an interception, and just quite a solid game, I think. Let's talk about next week. You've got can't talk about wins. We got to go move on, Coach. It's like Blackman's coming up next, yep. And you travel there. We're going to be doing that game on WGNS, and Blackman much improved. Now they went down and Brentwood, but they had a 14-3 lead over them at one point. What do you expect from Blackman?
Well, Coach Kreisky's their head coach, so they're going to be really tough and well prepared. I'm thankful that we're playing Blackman. When I got to Stewart's Creek, it wasn't a game that was being played, and me and Kit Hartsfield, who was the head coach at the time, started talking about that because Stewart's Creek really grew out of that Blackman zone in a lot of ways.
It's a good kind of natural rivalry, kind of location wise.
Yep, it is, and goodness gracious, I tell you, I've talked to multiple coaches, head coaches who've speak about how talented Blackman is. Every level of their defense has, a Division I football player in it, and they're just super talented as they've ever been in my eyes. And, that's really saying a lot because the team they rolled out, there a few years ago, even last year, just multiple Division I players, and that's no different this year. Just beautiful. They've got multiple players with SEC offers, and they're going to be really tough. Obviously going to be their home opener. A lot of respect for Coach Kreisky and the job he's done, and we're going to have our work cut out for us, I assure you.
Well, hope that there'll be no bugs or anything to invade the final question, I guess. By the way, if you're from Stewart's Creek or Blackman, I look for a huge crowd there because Stewart's Creek will pack that place. It's only a few miles down the road, really, to be honest with you. Go down Burnt Knob, and you're almost there, aren't you, Coach?
Yeah, got to cross 840, get through Veterans there.
I've been through there many a time. Tell me, where's your little buddy today? I miss him. Tell him I miss him.
He's at home. It was the first kind of late Friday night for them.
Yeah.
So they ended up.
So you got up there still asleep.
Yeah. Hey, well, he was up when I when I left, we were able to, watch the new Dude Perfect episode before we left. And, my youngest boy, he's got his baseball game today, fall ball. And also, my daughter, I got, a 4-week-old daughter at home now.
Oh, gosh,
and,
I forgot. Yeah.
So I'm getting really, really soft, John, as you can probably tell.
You're getting old too, Coach.
So
I'm telling
thankful
you.
for her, and my wife's been killing it. And, I'm so thankful, John. It's a great time of the year, and just thankful with all that the good Lord's blessed me with.
Is it true, though, you actually come here to get a what? No, I'm just kidding. That's Ben Caudill, and a great big win for them, and a big game coming up this week. Be sure to go out there. If you're anywhere in that area, that's going to be a really good game. This portion of the Coach's Show is brought to you by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, the largest and most comprehensive orthopedic surgery group in Middle Tennessee. Find out more at TOA.com. When we come back, it's Rockville football time.
Is your car running like a... Does it need a little TLC? At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we treat your vehicle like it's one of our own. Let's hear what some customers have to say about Dr. Automotive.
Been coming to them ever since he opened up. Good family. I recommend other people to get them repaired here because I knew they would do it and do it right. Been happy to send people to him because I trust what he does so much.
We're crazy about him. It's all about the doctor.
For quality care you can trust, visit Dr. Automotive in Smyrna. We've got the cure for your car.
Here's your Little Caesar slices and sticks, half Italian cheese sticks, half pepperoni pizza. It's the world's greatest combination.
Carl? How could you? Sorry, PB&J. I wanted to try new things. No! Have some for yourself. Yes.
No! Get hot and ready slices and sticks for $6.99. Walk in and walk out between 4 and 8 p.m.
Little Caesars Pizza is a proud supporter of all Rutherford County high school athletes. Be sure to visit your Murfreesboro Little Caesars today.
Pizza. You've seen the ads out there, companies wanting to buy your home. But why sell yourself short when you can get fair market value? I'm Lisa Patton. If you have an estate to settle or a home to sell, call Parks Auction. We'll work with you to sell your home or property in any condition with no costly repairs on your timeline. Why accept one offer when you can have multiple? You need Parks Auction. We look out for your best interest. Call Parks Auction today. We handle everything.
If you need concrete work done, who would I call? Dan France Concrete. Here's why. He's local. He attended Walter Hill Elementary, Oakland, and MTSU. He served our community as a school resource officer for 9 years, and he's involved in the community.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Dan France Concrete is a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. Check out danfranceconcrete.com online to see some of their work.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
I want expert advice on going 100% solar.
I want to go green without breaking the bank.
I want to meet my sustainability goals.
I want solar to be simple.
Done.
I want to save the planet.
Little hero, let's start with one of MTE's solar programs first. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And this portion of our show brought to you by JHA Company, Josh Houston and Associates, jewelry, letter, jackets, yearbooks, graduation products, and more. Online at jhacompany.com. Brian Guthrie, head coach of the Rockville Rockets, joins us. And, we were following your game close last night. But before we go to the game, I want to talk about the ceremony that happened before, because that was absolutely awesome.
Excuse me.
And tell us a little bit about that, or if you got a chance. I don't know where you were stationed, but
it was at halftime.
Yeah,
but we let our band. So the band played before the game, so they could do their show. Alex Sears is our band director, and he's a great guy. He works with us. One of the best I've ever been around. And then we had a big military presentation before the game. We played the service melody.
Awesome, yeah.
And had all the service flags out there. And then Bo Bryan, our senior offensive tackle, played the national anthem on his electric guitar.
Oh, good. That's great.
Uniform.
Yeah.
It was really cool. And then at halftime, we had all the teams that were going to use the field. They lined up on the field, and then we walked and had the Sabres, the ROTC Sabre team or group or whatever it's called, there, and had the sponsors walk through there and handed them plaques and took pictures and all that kind of stuff.
Who coordinated all that for that? It was
Jonna
really,
Wright.
Okay, it was really well done.
Jonna Wright, she is a assistant principal. She is she's awesome. I asked her back about 2 or 3 months ago. I said, Miss Wright, I'm obviously not going to be able to do all this. So would you do it? And she's Rockville through and through, and she jumped in and handled all that, and Crutchfield helped, and
the Brown family was there.
The Brown family was there. We dedicated it to the field to Homer Brown, named it Homer Brown Field, and that was really special. We talked when we were trying to finalize the last bit of money that we needed. We talked about naming the field after somebody, and I'm really happy it ended up the way it did, because the Brown family is really special out in Rockville.
Well, of course, I'm out that area a lot,
Right.
and I drove by there, and I just watched the stages of that turf being put down and things, and I go, it's amazing what they can do in really kind of a short amount of time.
Listen, Lou Warner and his crew are top notch.
He's the best. Yes, sir.
He's the best.
And they unfortunately, the game didn't turn out, but it was a great game. It was an exciting game. Nolensville's a good ball club. I'm not going to kid about it. They're pretty tough.
They are. They're well coached. Paul Derrick and those guys do a great job over there, and those kids are well coached, and they don't make a ton of mistakes. And unfortunately we made a lot of them, and you just can't. When it comes down to it, the team makes less mistakes when they're pretty evenly matched. Is going to win the game. So
down, but not out. You came back and went for 2, tied it up, and things were looking pretty good for the Rockets up at that point.
Yeah, real proud of our kids. I mean, we could have. It was 7-6 at halftime, and that's because we drove the ball down twice and got stalled out and had to kick 2 field goals. And I can't say enough about our freshman kicker, Isaac Troutman. I mean, he's a freshman, and he got in there with ice in his veins and just pounded both of them. He's going to be a really good player. Yeah, I mean, we went down 2 scores in the second half, and just right off the bat, and our kids could have laid down, and they didn't. They fought back. We played hard the entire night. We just got to minimize mistakes that hurt ourselves.
Elliott, first start, nice game, really good. 14 of 28, 212 yards, rushed for 47. I know there are probably some highs and lows with his performance as well, but overall, I think you'd take it.
There were, but I'm real proud of Javion. He's got some really good running ability when he decides to pull it down, and he throws a really good ball. Some of them were off the mark a little bit, and we dropped some. And those are just things that those are just execution things that we've got to get better at. But he throws a really good ball and gets the ball out of his hands quick, and we do some things to let him run it, and he's just a really good athlete.
And Brian, is it safe to say, I guess, because we were at Smyrna, there were a lot of mistakes, a lot of penalties at that game. Is the first game kind of? Have you ever had one? You've been in one where it didn't go that way in the first game, and
yeah.
Is it
a couple?
Is it because of experience? Maybe sometimes.
Yeah. Usually. Usually, and we're playing a lot of kids that it's their first go round. So,
of course, you were on that team with Siegel, and
yeah, we didn't make many mistakes.
No, those are really two great teams.
That was a very those were very we were very disciplined football teams, and but I mean, and that's where we're trying to get to, and I think we figure some of that stuff out, we'll be a pretty good. And I told them kids last night that if we figure out how to minimize our own mistakes and not put ourselves in a bind, that we'll be a really good football team.
Hard enough to beat somebody if you don't. I mean, without mistakes. Mentioned Jerrion Monk had 2 interceptions last night.
Yeah, man. Jay Monk is, he's a great kid, and he's super athletic, and I've been telling him all off season, look, man, you got the keys to the car. All you got to do is drive it. he figured some things out last night and got him a couple of picks, and I was real proud of him.
That had to do great for his confidence going down the rest of the season.
I hope so.
Yeah. Jalen Morgan, another one, 6 receptions, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns, added to 2-point conversion. All those things, I know you had to be pumped because all those things have to go right toward the end of a game. You're trying to come back. And to convert that 2-point conversion, I guess you guys were sky high after that at that point.
Yeah, we were. I mean, we were playing for playoff. I mean, we were playing for the, what do you call it after? Tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Whatever, overtime.
Overtime,
Thank
yeah.
you. I still hadn't woke up all the way yet. And so, but we got a penalty there right after we scored, and but a personal foul penalty or an unsportsmanlike penalty, and that that hurt us. That gave them a lot better field position, and there's just some things that happened there at the end that we didn't do well. We didn't handle well, and and giving them a chance to kick a field goal.
Well, regardless of the loss, a great night at Rockville, and I know the performance, that comeback was pretty incredible. You got Smyrna coming in now.
Yeah, Smyrna, yeah, and I haven't had a chance to watch them yet. I'm a late night guy. I can't sleep after a game, so I usually stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning watching our film and stuff. So I usually sleep till 8 or 9, and then I come do this, and then I got to go watch. Then I'll go watch Smyrna. So I haven't seen them yet. I know their quarterback transferred from us, Britton Jenkins, and apparently he had a decent night. Like I said, I don't know. I know they're usually, Matt does a great job and they're usually really good on defense, and so, I'm sure it'll be par for the course, and so we'll have to figure out how to minimize our mistakes and then try to stop them at the same time.
Well, there were many penalties against Smyrna and Riverdale last night, so I don't know. They kind of experienced the same thing you guys experienced a little bit with penalties and that kind of thing. Matt is solid head coach, and that's, to me, is the hardest thing about Smyrna because he is such a good coach, and trying to outmatch him and that kind of thing. But really, just play your game, right? I mean, it's one at a time, and come on, the same cliches, but that's so true.
Yeah, I mean, we got to work on us and all that, and it's all true. I mean, we got to get better at us. If we don't get better at us, then it don't matter who we play, we're not going to do well. So we got to get better at us, and we will, because I know our kids will come Monday ready to work.
Brian Guthrie, our guest, and I just, in the last couple of minutes we have, it's hard to kind of go, well, where are we at this point? Where do you think you are with them at this particular moment in time? Eliminate mistakes. Is that the biggest key? I know you've kind of said that a few times.
That's the biggest key. I mean, we're relatively healthy, knock on wood, right now, and I think we're real close. I'm just, you get tired of being close, so we want to try to figure out how to get over the hump and get where we need to be.
Before I let you go, too, I wanted to ask again about last night. The thing, it's kind of one of those goosebump kind of things, doesn't it? When you see the patriotism and the turf, it's kind of based on that as well.
Yeah, and our Bush Club put 450 American flags around the stadium.
Awesome.
It was a really cool night. I just want to take a minute to thank all our sponsors and everybody that came through and helped us and get this project done. I mean, it was tough and it was a labor of love, and it turned out great, and I think it's going to be great for Rockville High School and our community.
It seemed like that by the time you all decided you're going to get turf, it seemed like I know it probably felt like 5 years to you, but it was a short period of time, and to get all of that together, and I imagine coming down 99 and looking over there and seeing that going on, man, that had to be an amazing night. It's one that people won't ever forget, really.
I hope so.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, good luck next week. And this portion, that's Brian Guthrie, if you didn't know already. This portion of the show is brought to you. I talked to him. I've known him a long time. That's why it sounds like we're...
The wonderful personality and,
Hey, yeah, you're all right. This portion of the show is brought to you by...
That's what my wife said.
Edward Jones
You really think so? Okay.
Sometimes.
We need to stop, don't we?
Yes.
Okay. Edward
This could
Jones
go on
financial
forever.
advisor Lee Colvin, who will work with you to develop a complete, tailored strategy to help you achieve your financial goals. That's Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin, and we're going to be back with more of the Wake Up crew. There I go. The Renaissance of Heating and Air Coach's Corner.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. Tell us what it's like to work at a family business.
It's a lot of fun. However, it's a lot of work. Everybody has to pull their weight equally.
What do you think are some of the advantages of people doing business with a family business versus a corporate business?
We are here to answer all questions. We're responsible for scheduling jobs. We're not here to sell you material and pass you off to a list of installers.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
The Blue Raider fan source for officially licensed Middle Tennessee gear is Raider Tees. T-shirts, caps, sweats in all sizes, designs, colors, children's to plus sizes. Raider Tees has decals and license plates to show everyone your favorite team. Plus, check out their wide selection of Blue Raider art, jewelry, even golf tee markers. Show your Blue Raider pride with the largest selection of Blue Raider merchandise anywhere by shopping Raider Tees, 910 Ridgely Road, just before the bridge over Broad behind Chewy's.
You in a hurry for dinner? Well, we've made it even easier to order online at sirpizzatn.com. Tap the location nearest you and begin your carry-out or delivery order at sirpizzatn.com. You can choose from our full menu, and we'll take care of the rest. A Queen's Feast is calling my name. Order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coach Show is brought to you by Dr. Automotive, the cure for your car. Professional auto repair and maintenance from ASE certified mechanics and master mechanics. Check them out online at autorepairsmyrna.com. I'm Danny Brewer. We're back on the Coach Show. Now I am very pleased to be joined by Seagull Head football coach Adam Renshaw. Coach, how are we this morning?
Great. Good day to be up and go to work.
There you go. That's right, Coach. So, you know, the thing about it is, this time of year, it's 7 days a week. Or maybe not that way a lot of times, but this time you're 7 days a week.
Yeah. I don't know. When I was younger, I thought I would work to find things to do. Now it seems like I haven't got enough time to get it all done. And so it can really turn into a grind. You know, I try to personally work up till noon on Saturday, and then take some time to be with my family. Go to church Sunday morning, and we come in after church on Sunday and work till we get it done.
Well, I think that in reality, this holds true. I think any profession, your downtime can be almost as important as your uptime.
Yeah, and I think that's true for the kids too. I think early in my career, I was a grinder on the kids also, and I think kids need rest. They need to be kids. They need to be able to do the schoolwork, and they need good nutrition and plenty of sleep. And I think those things are as important as football practice.
Well, that was what I was going to say. Kids need time to be kids. And maybe we lose sight of that sometimes.
Yeah. And, the whole reason we do this is we're education-based athletics. We're supposed to be supporting these young men, helping them grow into adults. And we try to take that seriously at Siegel High School.
Education-based athletics. I love that, Coach. Because in reality, that's what it's supposed to be, And I think that sometimes this can get lost in the shuffle. It's high school football. It's college football. And high school has to come first. And like you said, without the grades, that's why you're there.
Exactly. And that's not to take any importance off what we do on Friday nights. Football is extremely important. We just want to make sure kids know it's the most important thing.
Well, in reality, it's a training ground for life, correct?
That's really what we're trying to do. We've had some adversity Thursday. We got a football team right now that needs to get over that.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what happened Thursday. I know you played a very good Shelbyville team in the season opener Tell me a little bit about what happened.
Well, I think it was a very simple fundamental of football. We didn't block, and they did. And we can dramatize that in a lot of different ways. But, and I'm not just talking about front play. I'm talking about on the edges and the receivers. And, we can definitely do things to play faster, quarterback and running back. And defensively, I think we got new linebackers. And so we got to catch up to the speed of the game a little bit.
When we talk about the basics of football, that's really what most games boil down to, isn't it?
Oh yeah. And I think a lot of people talk. Turnovers are obviously very important. If you look at Friday night's game, we won the special teams game. They had two bad punts, gave us short field position. We scored on those. They had a turnover. But the difference in the game really was blocking and somewhat tackling. They have a really good back. I thought our kids ran the ball, game tackled really well. It really was just block destruction, as we like to call it. I think that's an underrated skill in football. Your defense, every play is designed to block most defenders, and so your defenders have to be able to beat that block, get off that block, and make the tackle.
Exactly right, Coach. So let's talk a little bit about your offensive structure first. I know you had some kids who did some pretty good things. Drew Hostetler, I think he had a good night as far as receiving and all that kind of stuff, and maybe had a good return as well.
Drew had a really good night. Caught a couple of passes, one for a touchdown, caught a big pass over the top. Probably, honestly, wanted to get the ball to him more and need to work on that. Some easier ways to get the ball to him, I think. But I thought he had a good night. A kid that plays his position also, Jalen Willis, ran a really good route, caught a pass, and did exactly like we do in practice. Dropped step, scored a touchdown, and both those kids I thought played exceptionally well.
One of the big questions coming into this year for Seagull football was quarterback. You had a really good quarterback last year in Santel before he got hurt. But talk about Tristan Thornton. I think he stepped in Thursday night as a starter. Tell me a little bit about him.
I thought, as the game went on, he got better. We talk a lot with our football team about offense kind of being the car. And we're constantly working on the car, trying to get the car to run better. And, we tossed the quarterback keys on Friday night, and they go drive it. And so, I thought he did a pretty good job. I thought as the game went on, he got a little, he got better. And, some things on film we definitely need to get together and work on those. But, he has a ton of potential.
What class is he?
He's a junior.
He's a junior. Well, that may be the best thing about him, right?
Yes, sir.
So when you think about offensively speaking, running the football, tell me about the running game.
We were, initially our initial blocks up front were very physical. Our offensive line didn't shy away from the physicality of the game. We just struggled to get up the linebackers. We struggled to get the edge players blocked. And those guys made a ton of plays against us Friday night. So we got to take care of that. And we feel like we've got two really good varsity backs right now, maybe more on a football team. But Braylon Albia and Corey Jennifer, we feel like if we give them a crease, give them the lane, they can do something with it. So I just think we got to work on getting those periphery players, not necessarily defensive linemen. It's the whole timing, working those double teams, getting into those backers, and our edge guys have to do a much better job blocking the secondary, blocking those whole players, outside linebackers, strong safety type players. To me, that's where we've got to get a lot better.
Is a good blocking receiver underrated, you think? I mean, is that one of those things that
we tell our receivers if you don't block, you don't play. That is the foundation of, I believe, spread offense. And so I think so much has to occur on the edge that it's not like the formation days where you just put those guys out there and they run routes all practice. The slot receivers, the outside receivers, they have significant blocking duties. And not just our scheme, I'd say almost every scheme. You look at Kansas City Chiefs, how they play football. Those receivers aren't willing to block, they're not going to get a contract.
Exactly right, Coach. And I think that maybe that's one of those skills that Do you think that in today's society kids maybe underrate that skill a little bit?
Maybe a little bit, but I mean, if you I don't know. I can speak as to our kids. I think our kids will block. I think they see that as a team skill. We tell our kids that if you don't block, you don't play. And we say even the quarterback at some point is going to have to block on reverse. So I mean, it's again. Probably every coach come in here this morning and talk about the fundamentals and how they have to get better at them. And blocking's always the first one mentioned. So we're young in spots. We're talented. We just got to do those two things: block better and get off the blocks.
Week one can be a challenge because you don't know what's going to happen. And that's true with every team out there. You can have your scrimmages, you can have your work, but still, when it comes time and you're under the lights, what's going to happen? Were you relatively pleased with a lot of things that happened?
I was really pleased with our special teams. Coach Rick Mallory coaches our special teams. I thought they were extremely well prepared and did a good job. Both their kickers, AB, Harry, they both did a great job putting the ball where it needed to be. And a few mistakes in the kicking game, but I felt like we won that third crucial area of the football game. And so that was a place we can build on. I think we got to move the ball better and stop it better.
As we move into week two at Laverne, tell me a little bit about that.
We go over there to Laverne. Last time we were over there, we were in a dogfight. We expect to be in the dogfight again. Seen a little bit of film on them this morning. Extremely athletic. Coach Woodward, great man, does a great job. And so, they'll be ready. They'll be ready to play us. And last year, we just had a good night. It was really weird. But I really expect those guys, they're going to be gunning for us Friday.
I think that they are a little bit different offensively, maybe trying to do triple options. What kind of challenges that present to you defensively?
It's always an issue up front defensively. And so, I would say the biggest deal is we got to get our fits right with our linebackers and make sure, because when teams are running midline, when teams are running maybe some belly kind of stuff, they're just looking to take advantage of the angles up front, and maybe a linebacker taking a bad angle, and they're more than happy with 5 yards. That's a big play, keeps them on the field, and again, first down's a big deal for us. This past Friday night, that's I really feel like that's where we lost the football game. We were not getting anything on first down, and having to call plays on second, third down and try to make up for that. And then their offense, on first down, they were getting 5 yards. And, there's not a play call sheet. You can't call it second and 5. And so, first down, we have to be a lot better. So with Laverne, it's going to be a major issue because they're going to be able to line up, run a belly, run a midline, just try to get that 4 or 5 yards that keeps their offense, matriculate down the field.
As you move from week one to week two, what's the biggest thing you hope to see from your team?
Well, I want us to play faster. And I'm not talking about in terms of tempo. I'm talking about in terms of snap the ball, get off the ball, and get after the other team. And so, to me, that's the area that I feel like we need the most improvement on Friday. I felt like it had a lot to do with while we were blocking people. And so maybe more intentionality when the ball snapped. And I think a lot of that falls on me. Also to make sure that our kids are confident coming off the ball. So that's where we need to be this week. We got a lot of work to do in that area, I think.
Well, Coach, one thing I'm confident in is you're doing a great job over there at Siegel. I encourage everyone, if you want to see some good football, you get over to Siegel. Got a wonderful facility. That turf field looks fantastic. Coach Adam Renshaw, Siegel High School, you did a great job. Appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
The Coaching Show is brought to you by the law offices of John Day. They've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they needed it the most. If you've been injured, call the law offices of John Day.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coach Show is brought to you by Craig's Tax Service, specializing in personal and business tax preparation, financials, and bookkeeping services. Find out more at CraigsTaxService.com. I'm Danny Brewer. I'm extremely pleased now to be joined by Eagle Head football coach Floyd Walker. Coach, how are you this morning?
I'm good, man. Extremely. Come on, brother.
Well, Coach, we got to keep it respectful. I mean, former All-American like you, MTSU football star, I mean, mid-state legend, and
boy, man, that's what I am.
Well, you're a good one, boy. I'll give you that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Eagle football here. We maybe didn't get off to the start one or two, but at least you played a football game, right?
It was fun to get to actually play instead of practice, and it wasn't the outcome that we wanted or that we hoped for. I think overall it was a great experience for our kids. We had the opportunity to open up and play MTSU, so we're really thankful for them allowing us to come over there and play in their venue. I think that's going to be something that those kids will have a lifelong lasting memory of. So we're thankful for that. But yeah, the game didn't go our way, but I'm not discouraged by the way that we played. I'm not discouraged about our effort. I'm not discouraged about how physical we tried to play. There's just some things that you have to clean up in the first game, and those things kind of got exposed.
When you talk about opening with a team like PCA, right, non-region game, and they, to be a relatively new football program, they're pretty dang good.
They are. They're very, very sound, very, very fundamental. They've got a plan about what they want to do, how they want to do it on a daily basis, and Coach Ferguson has been doing it for a long time, and those kids have bought into what he's selling over there. So you tip your cap to them. I think they'll have a successful year, and it's always great to play good competition and a well-coached football team.
The venue, I know that you spent a lot of time over there at Middle Tennessee State. Just that's good. Like you said, it's good to have your kids on a stage like that.
Oh, it is, because, not a lot of kids get an opportunity to play in a college venue, 30,000-seat stadium, field turf, and all that goes with it as far as college campuses goes. Because what will end up happening is, at some point in time, their high school career is going to end, but the memories of actually playing there will last forever.
Because, as a player and a coach at many levels and all that kind of stuff, that's something you can absolutely relate to, right?
Oh, yeah. Most definitely, because when I was in high school, I had a chance to play at Austin Peay all the time. And it was always fun going over there. The turf and the surface was a little bit different than it is right now, but it was something that we always enjoyed and look forward to doing.
Yeah, because that was more like carpet on concrete. Well, I didn't
really into outdoor carpet. Yeah, it's kind of like that stuff.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what happened offensively. Maybe a little versatility, able to throw the ball a little bit, able to run the ball a little bit.
We did a little bit of both. The thing that ended up happening to us a lot was penalties. We had somewhere between 8 to 9 penalties, things that are self-inflicted wounds. It's one of those deals to where you get a false start here or there, either by wide out or by a lineman, and you put yourself in some critical third and long situations, which there's not a whole lot of plays for 4th and 20 or 3rd and 20 or whatever it may be, but we've got to clean some of those things up, and if we do that, we'll have an opportunity to put points back on the board.
I know you've got some good skill position players. Talk a little bit about your skill position players.
Yeah, we've got a lot of returning skill people. I was so proud of the way that Caleb Snitzer performed for us on Thursday night. I keep forgetting about that, but we've got Noah Lilly that's been around for a while, Nolan Lane that's been around for a while, Alex Bryan, who's a senior that's played in a bunch of ball games, Thomas Solomon, Marshall Spann. We've got probably our largest senior class that we've had in a long time. We've got 14 seniors. Most of them have been in the program for 4 years, and they've seen a lot of ball, and they've made a lot of good plays for us, and they're going to make a lot more good plays for us as we progress through this season.
Coach, when you talk about 14 seniors, I mean, that's got to be a good thing because you've cultivated every one of those kids, and that makes it kind of special, right?
It does, and they know. They know. I mean, those kids were hurt last night, and you felt bad. I mean, they were hurt Thursday night, and you feel for them. They don't walk into a stadium fearing losing. They don't have that type of mentality. They expect to win every Thursday or Friday night, whichever it may be, and to walk away not playing your best. And it's not, tip your hat to PCA, but there's some things that we caused that prevented us from being successful, and they know. They understand football, and they understand the things that happen, and they'll get it corrected. I have full faith in this senior group.
So when we talk about the penalties, some of those can be, fundamental stuff. Some of it can be between the ears. The between the ears penalties are the ones you want to limit, right?
And that's what we had. I mean, if you get false start deals, I mean, that's why you play offense. You get told what the play is, you get told what the formation is, you get told what the snap count is, and that's your advantage of playing offense. And to not execute at that level, then that's something that you just got to be correct, and that's something that's very, very correctable, and that's something that you look inside internally and you go back to work on it on Monday.
Let's talk about the play up front. I know you got some good skill position players. How about the guys you got in the trenches?
I was tickled to death by the way that they performed Thursday night. I thought both lines of scrimmage, offensive line, defensive line, I thought they did a tremendous job trying to change the line of scrimmage. Defensively, we tried to keep it right where the ball was lying down. We either tried to change it and get it back on their side, but I thought our offensive line schematically did a super job. I don't think there was a lot of busted assignments offensively from the offensive line, and I thought our defensive line kind of helped control their running game.
Coach, I know you've got another road game coming up this week at Community.
Correct.
That's kind of another like rivalry type game.
It is. I mean, they're only like 15, 20 minutes down the road, and we've been playing Community for years in all sports, and it's something that all of our kids know most of their kids, so our kids will be excited to have another opportunity to go to Community and compete. Plus, they'll be excited about trying to get the taste of this loss out of their mouth.
When you think about the couple road games over the season, how does Eagle travel? I know y'all got a great community. How does Eagle travel?
Oh, hey, we have probably the best fan base in Rutherford County. I mean, we're not 6A, we're not whatever it may be, but when we go on the road, we travel. Our fans are tremendous. Our parents are tremendous. Our student body is absolutely fantastic. Our administrators travel with us. It's one of those deals to where it is truly a community gathering wherever we may play, whether we be at home or whether we be on the road. So you're just thankful that you have a group of community members that will support kids the way that ours does.
Yeah, you mentioned that you're not 6A or 5A or 4A even, but when you think about football, I mean, it's still the game of football no matter what the level is, right?
It really is. It's extremely passionate. It's extremely family friendly. It's extremely student friendly. It's a deal to where it builds throughout the week. Kids get excited about it. Especially in our place when we have our elementary and middle school kids walking through hallways with junior pro jerseys on and junior pro cheerleaders wearing junior pro outfits. It's just one of those deals that's truly you're fortunate to be involved with.
Does that make things a little bit more special too because of the structure of Eagle School? When you see those kids and you may see a kid in the hallway that maybe he's in 6th grade, 7th grade, whatever, and then as you get to see him mature and grow and all that stuff.
Oh, hey, it's really neat. It's absolutely fantastic because you'll see these kids, and we've got several of them that's gone through our elementary school, through our junior pro program, through our middle school program, and just to watch them or remember when they were little to where they are now, and you think back and reflect on all those type of things, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
I know you mentioned the Span kid earlier. Let's talk a little bit about him. I know his daddy was a pretty good high school football player. So talk a little bit about him and how you've seen him grow and mature.
What you've seen him do is he's become such a great leader, especially on the defensive side. He studies the game. He's extremely competitive. He's extremely physical, and he's a very, very likable kid that all of our players enjoy being around, playing with, visiting with, hanging out with. It's been one of those deals. So he's one of those kids that's gone through the junior pro program, the middle school program, and now you look at him and the way that he's performing and the level that he's performing at, you're just really, really thankful that you've had the opportunity to witness it.
I think we call that homegrown, don't we?
It's pretty much his homegrown. Pretty much homegrown, yeah, exactly.
So as we look toward community this week, what's maybe the biggest thing that you'd like to see from week 1 to week 2?
We got to eliminate penalties. We've got to eliminate penalties. If we can eliminate penalties and we can continue to do the things that we did successfully Thursday night, we're going to be trending in the right way, and I think we will do that.
Offensively speaking, obviously, you want to put more points on the board, but what do you think that the key is to getting that done?
Consistency, whether it is running the ball, consistency whether we're throwing the ball, consistency on whether we're making the right reads from a quarterback standpoint about where the ball goes and who the ball goes and who we're throwing the ball off of. And if we get more consistency, we'll become more productive offense.
Coach, we certainly appreciate your time. That's Floyd Walker doing great things out there at Eagleville. I guess in 3 weeks y'all will be at home, right?
Was it 3 weeks? We play community this
coming Friday.
And then next Friday, and we're at home. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Then I think 3 weeks maybe homecoming.
Outstanding. Yeah. Well, it's all this, all right. Yeah. So Floyd Walker, he's doing it right over there in Eagleville. Coach, appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck.
Appreciate it.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by State Farm agents Andy Womack, Dana Womack, Celeste Middleton, Ron Reeves, and Emerson Williams. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. I'm Danny Brewer. I am so very happy now to be joined by Middle Tennessee Christian School head football coach Christian Peterson, defending state champion Middle Tennessee Christian School coach Christian Peterson, I should say. Right, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, really for what we're talking about, though, that was last year. We're into 24 now, and we got to start really kind of locking down and getting focused on this year.
Well, and I think that's one of the keys as far as success. I'm a big horse racing guy, and one of my buddies in the sport, he's been extremely successful, and he doesn't ever really talk a whole lot about the past because he's got a what's next mentality, and that's kind of what I've tried to do too. As far you got to have a what's next mentality, right? Because the past doesn't help you this year.
When we talk about it as a team, like every game starts 0-0. Doesn't matter if you have beaten them before or you lost them before, or whatever the case may be. If you were successful last year versus this year, or, it's always got to be like we just got to keep getting better every day. And, throughout spring, throughout summer, once you get in the fall, it's, you just want to make sure that at the end of the season, you're playing your best football.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about last night. Week 1, tough call, Columbia Academy right out of the gate. I know that they were a team that you guys did battle with last year on a couple of occasions, right?
Yeah. So we played them twice last year, and they're a good football team. Seth's really got them rolling right now. Last year played them triple overtime, then had to play them again in the semifinal game, and they were probably, if they weren't the best team we played last year, they were right there with them. And, they returned a bunch of guys. So we knew, they were going to come out week 1 when you're kind of, senior heavy. It's a little bit easier to get rolling in week one. You're able to play a little bit faster just because you've got a bunch of guys who played a lot of snaps. And so we knew we were going to have to get ready and be fast and be physical week one.
So, Coach, kind of how the game played out. I mean, like some things that you saw. I know the final score wasn't what you wanted, but did you like some things you saw last night?
Yeah, I mean, we start the game off. They go, they went no huddle on us. They punched the ball in the end zone real fast. We get the ball, end up throwing a pick on a 50-50 ball on a go route, and they take it down and score again. And when you have a young team, it'd be easy to just at that point go, oh man, hey, we're not any good. Just pack up and try and survive the game. I never saw our kids do that. We were able to go down and punch the ball in the end zone the next drive, and we kept fighting. We made some young mistakes, right? We missed some blocks. We didn't hit the right hole. We blew some coverages, right? But those are all things. I don't think it was a situation where we're looking at it going, man, we're just not any good. It's a situation of we're getting closer every week. We're getting closer. And, we talked about it with the kids after the game of, what is our goal? And, all of them were like, be better next week. Exactly. Like that is always the goal. We just want to be better next week. Regardless of what happens on a Friday, it doesn't dictate what our goal is. And so, I've told them we just got to show up Monday through Thursday. We have some things we got to fix. We got to play faster and be ready to go. And some of it too is, you really look around our roster and we had a bunch of guys that are either playing their first varsity game ever, or it's their first time playing a significant amount of snaps in a varsity game. And so the game just moves pretty fast for them. The first time you play a game, it's different than a jamboree. It's different than a scrimmage. It's different than practice. And so there were times where you could see that their mind saw what was going to happen, right? Their mind is telling their body because they took one step, but their body's just not trusting it yet. And so they're just not trusting their eyes yet. And so, again, as we keep going, our trigger's going to get better. We're going to take the right step. We had a time or two where it looked like we're going to press the right hole and then we kind of bounce it. And so, sometimes it's just press that hole and go to get us 4. Okay, go get us 4. We'll huddle back up and call another play. And so, again, all things I think that are very fixable, very correctable. And again, I think they showed what their character was. Again, we never stopped fighting. We kept playing. And so I think that's a huge testament to our kids. And it bodes well for the future, right? Because it shows we got some grit. We have that ability to get back up when someone swings that punch. And so, as the snaps keep coming, as the plays keep going, we're going to keep getting better.
Trusting your eyes. I like that term, Coach. That's a good one. But that's exactly what you have to do, right?
Absolutely. I mean, they had Monte Baldwin in the backfield. He's a really good player. He might be the best running back in our entire classification. And so, they got to see what a really good senior running back looks like. And so, we have some really good running backs that are freshmen and sophomores, and they're doing a really good job. I think we kind of did it by committee, and I think they did a good job, but we're just not there yet. We don't have the snaps yet. And so as we keep playing and as we keep going, we're going to get better. Our defensive secondary is a bunch of guys that are new. And again, they just need to trust it. And so sometimes if we're trying to play cover 2, we're catching that number 2 going on a drag and we're taking off. And it's like, hey, you got to just stay over the top, trust your eyes, don't panic, just stay back there. We're going to be fine. And again, as we keep getting reps, I think they're going to just get better.
Coach, tailback by committee, that could be a good thing. But let's talk about a member of that committee, Briggs Boyd, 15 carries, I think, 71 yards. How about that kid?
Yeah, no, I was very pleased with Briggs. A lot of people are going to look at it and go, we 3 interceptions. Oh no, what are you going to do at the quarterback spot? And really, though, there wasn't really bad reads. Right, it's just he's getting used to throwing the football when it's all going at a different speed. And one of those picks was right there right before the half, and we tried to catch him on a Y pop. It's something we had open last year, and we had run enough of a certain formation. We thought we were going to be able to get him again. And really their linebacker made a great play. Weak side linebacker read him and jumped the route. He never even saw him. We should have gone to something else. It's on us. We had another one where, he tried to fit it in, and that one, if he laid over the top, it's the right read. You went to the right guy. It's just you do the wrong ball. And again, I think all of that is just going to be, as he continues to get reps in that spot, he's going to, do a better and better job. And then he ran the ball really hard. When our quarterbacks here, they have to be willing runners, right? You don't necessarily have to be a great runner, but you got to be a willing runner. You got to be willing to go stick your nose in there and go get us 4 or 5. You got to be willing to be a threat in the run game. I thought he ran the ball really well. He ran the ball really hard. He never flinched. He didn't let bad plays dictate the next play. And so again, I think it's all building blocks for him and things that he's going to be able to keep getting better at.
In reality, especially for a kid like that, there's no better teacher than game experience.
For sure. And I think that's our whole team. We've talked about it, even going into jamborees and scrimmages and everything else. It's like every time we play somebody else, it's a learning experience for us. They get to see it, and you can only mimic it so much in practice. And so every time something happens, it's something new that they hadn't seen before, and it gives us an opportunity to look at it on film and talk about what we need to do and how we need to improve on it. And the good news is we're not making too many duplicate mistakes, right? Like we're able to get in there and look at it on film, and then we play it better the next time we see something similar. But when you have a bunch of freshmen and sophomores, just everything is new, right? And so it's just about continuously just every day go in there and let's go. This was an issue, let's fix it, okay? And then we'll keep building on that, and then by the end of the year.
Coach, you mentioned freshmen, sophomores. I mean, I guess the good news about freshmen and sophomores, they become sophomores and juniors and seniors, right?
Absolutely. We have a really good senior class. Absolutely love them. They're doing a great job. There's just only 4 of them, right? There's not a ton of seniors. Our junior class has been asked to do more this year than they had in the past, and so they're continuing to get better. And then, again, just not a ton in the junior class either. And so the bulk of our numbers, of a 43-man roster, almost, I think it's 28 or 29 of them are freshmen or sophomores. And so, again, like they're just being asked to play, earlier than most of the time. And which I think is going to benefit in the long run. I think it's going to benefit us this year. But game 1, game 2, like there's going to be some mistakes, right? You live with it, you coach them up, and we'll be fine.
Lamario Nichols, how about him? I know he had a pretty decent night, probably averaged a little over 6 yards a carry.
Yeah, no, really happy with Marlo. Thought he did a really good job. Again, one of those freshmen, he kind of gets thrown into the fire a little bit, and I don't think he blinked. Right, he got hit. He made some right reads. He did the right things, and he went in and played a little bit of defense for us. He's on our kickoff return. He goes in on offense. So he's one of those kids that, like, the more and more reps he gets, the better he's going to get and the faster he's going to play. He had one run that, I think by the end of the year, he's breaking it to the house. He's gone. And he just kind of hesitated for a second. And so, again, I think he's got a really bright future ahead. Like, I think he is going to be a big-time football player for us. I don't even know if he knows how high his ceiling really is. And so he's another one of those guys that's just, as he keeps playing, he's just going to.
Eric Bowling, let's talk about that kid for a second. 16 tackles. That's a monstrous night.
Yeah, so he's one of those baseball kids. This is his first year ever playing football. He's a junior, and but it's first time in Friday Night Lights, and so he made a lot of tackles, was really physical. He did a lot of really good things, and there were some times where he didn't trust his eyes, right? And so I think he's another one. By the end of the year, he's going to be a great player for us. Like, he's going to be an outside linebacker who really does a great job of shutting down that side of the field, and it's just going to be consistency with him. Right now, when he trusts his eyes and he goes, he's really good. When he kind of hesitates for a second, that's when he gets in trouble. And so, again, super proud of him for his first varsity game. And now we'll be able to get in on film and be able to show them, like, look, here, you trusted your eyes here, and look, now you go make the play, and they only gain a yard. Perfect. Now we're going to let them play defense again. Here you kind of hesitated for a second. Now it's an 8-yard gain, right? And so just things like that, as he gets more consistent, he's just going to get better and better. Again, really, really excited about him. Really glad that he came out, and I really, really think he's going to have a big future.
Coach, I talking with MTSU's football coach, Derek Mason, earlier in the week. He gave me a phrase that I'm kind of used a few times. Football, it's a man whoop a man game. The physicality of it all, that's something that you're preaching to this group, and how have they responded, do you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially with what we do, we're single wing, right? So, we talk about all the time, we want to fight them in a phone booth, right? Like we don't want to play out of space. We want to drag them to a place where they don't want to go and then beat them there. And, I think we're better at it. We were better at it last night than we were 2 weeks ago, right? And so, you kind of look at it and go, we're trending in the right direction. We're not consistently as physical as we need to be, but you'll see flashes of there was a few times last night where we moved their D-line back, and they had a really good defensive line. And so it's once we're able to do that consistently, once we're able to fire off the ball consistently, once we're able to consistently get to where our foot gets where it needs to go, our hands are where they need to go, we're going to put ourselves in a good spot. You look up front, I think we had 4 returning starts on the offensive line. And so, we have 3 sophomores, a junior and a senior. Again, just asking guys to do more than they've had to do in the past. And so, again, I think they're all going to be really good football players. I think they're all showing really flashes of being really good football players. It's just not consistent yet.
Coach, you've got this clay, this ball of clay right now, and you're trying to mold it. That's what a football coach does. You like the material you have, obviously. Talk about the shape that they're taking early and how you like that.
Yeah, I think that's most years, right? We were blessed last year that we had kind of been molding that clay for 3 years, and so it was ready to just kind of get put in the fire and go. Whereas this year, we had our ball of clay, and we're still working it out. And so, again, I think we go back to our kids never quit. Right? It didn't turn into this argument with each other. We weren't fighting with each other. We're watching kids communicate on the field. Like, even if they hit something big, you watch 2 guys just get next to each other. All right, hey, what happened? Blah, blah, blah. And really working on it that way. And I think, again, all of that is extremely positive signs of, there wasn't a panic, right? There wasn't this worry. And so it's just about like, hey, we just got to get to the next play. We got to fix it. Right, we got it now. We got to get to next week. We have Monday through Thursday to hammer out some of those issues and get ready for our next opponent. But again, I think there were some positive things from it. There's some things that we definitely have to do better. But the season's not over, right? At the end of the day, we're still 0-0 in the region. We have some big games coming up there, especially at the end of the year in our region, that are really going to kind of dictate where we are. And so it's just about continuing to stay the course, continuing to get better each week, and really building it from there.
So I'm going to kind of put an asterisk by a statement I made earlier, and that we both agree upon that last year doesn't help you between the lines this year. But one thing it does do is it helps create it. You've created expectations, and you've created this culture and this mentality, and you got to love that and for what that can hopefully do for you moving forward.
I mean, yeah, and they've seen it work, right? They've seen the process work, and I think that helps stick to the process, right? It helps young guys that even when they're not really sure, if that doubt starts to creep into their mind, it does give them that sense of, okay, I know this will work. I know it will work. I know we will get there. We just have to keep working to get there. We talked a lot about even the 21 team. Our first year up here, that team starts 0-3, and they just stuck to the process and kept going, and then they rip off 8 straight, end up in the semifinals. And so they have examples in front of them of teams that, maybe they weren't who they wanted to be week 1, right? But by the end of the year, they were okay. Even last year, week 1, we didn't execute at a super high level. Right, we just had seniors that were able to cover up things if they took the wrong step. they could still trigger fast enough on step 2 and get there. And so, right now it's young guys, right? So like we've got to execute at a higher level, right? Because we don't have that natural just go, that trigger yet. And so it'll get there. Again, I think there were definitely positives. There's no panic in our coaching staff. We didn't all go in and throw our hands up and go, I don't know what to do. After the game, we all sat down and we're like, okay, here's what we did really well. Here's what we didn't do very well. And then here's some things that we need to look at, right? Like maybe there's something that we just haven't done it well in the scrimmages or the jamboree and we didn't do it well on Friday. Like, all right, well, like what's something else we can do, right? It's not transitioning, right? Maybe it doesn't work for this group. And then there's some things that like, hey, we're doing this really well. How can we expand on that? How do we get the absolute best out of them? What are they understanding? What are they going to execute well? And then let's keep building on that stuff. And so, and there's some things that we're doing okay. It's here or there, hit or miss. And those are the things we just got to keep working and get more consistent at, get that into the group that we're doing it really well. And again, it's just, for us, it's game reps. The more game reps we get, the better.
Well, let's talk about game reps. We got the Masters Academy coming to your place this coming Friday night. Talk to me a little bit about that game.
Yeah, they're a really good football team. Garrett down there in Florida, he had went to high school in my county. So we knew each other, but we don't know each other, right? Like we know of each other, prior to last year. Last year was his first year at Masters. They ended up kind of similar to how we started. Like we caught them early. It was their first game. And, by the end of the year, they ended up going on and winning their state title in their classification. They've got a young quarterback coming back. He kind of took over at the end of the year, played a little bit against us, but not a ton. He's only a freshman. Last year as an 8th grader, ended up leading him to a state championship. He's going to be a big-time player. He's really, really good. He's probably 6'2", 6'3", probably pushing 200 pounds already. Like, he's good. He looks pretty. He throws the ball really well. Under pressure, he's able to escape. They're going to be a good test for us. And they're another team that brought back a lot of guys. They were young last year. And, we're going to need to be ready to go. I think they're going to be, again, a good test, someone else that does something a little bit different, and something that's really going to, again, give our guys game reps of something else. That way, as we keep going, they will have seen everything when we get into the later part of the season.
Coming out of the gate against Columbia Academy and Florida State champion, the Masters Academy, I mean, this it's good. I mean, it's bad news, but it's good news, though, isn't it, Coach?
For sure. I mean, then we get to go see what the best teams look like, and we're going to schedule that way. We're going to schedule tough. We want our kids to understand where we need to get to. We want to challenge ourselves. We want to challenge them, and we talk about it. It's no one cares that we're young, right? We don't get extra points for being young. Like, no one's going to feel bad for us for being young. We just got to go out. We got to execute. And so, we'll prepare Monday through Thursday, go put a good product on the field. If we execute a little bit higher level, I think we're going to give ourselves a chance. And really, again, in high school football, that's all you can ask for. There's nothing in high school football is ever a given. It doesn't matter who you're playing. You're dealing with 14, 15, to 18-year-old kids that, there's so many things going on in their life and their hormones are going all over the place that, you never know going into a Friday night. But if you can get a good Monday through Thursday and execute on a Friday, you're going to give yourself a chance to win.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck. Christian Peterson doing really, really good things over there at Middle Tennessee Christian School. If you want to see a battle of state champs, get over there Friday night. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate you having me.
best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
We're going to be an educational institution that teach Bible every day. Every subject we teach, we're going to teach through a biblical perspective. In every aspect of our school, we're going to do it through a Christian perspective.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
That also means that everything we do, we have to be excellent. We feel like Christ calls us to excellence. And so that means we have to be excellent academically. That means we have to be excellent athletically, because that's what God calls us to. It's a great place to be.
Invest in your child's future in an environment that fosters Christ-centered values. To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
It's MTCS Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA, live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
On FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Welcome back into MTCS Cougar Corner as we wrap things up. Thanks to Coach Peterson for being here today, and Danny for the interview with him. Got lots to look at from this past week on the Cougar Corner scoreboard. Cougar Corner presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. And it was Central Magnet defeating MTCS in golf on Monday, 174-160. In middle school JV, not middle school, but JV volleyball, Brentwood Academy, 2-0 winners on Monday as well. Varsity volleyball defeating BA 3-2. And also on Tuesday, it was JV volleyball 2-0 over Columbia Academy. Varsity volleyball 3-0 winners over Columbia Academy. This on Tuesday, volleyball middle school style defeating Good Pasture 2-0 on Tuesday, as well as GCA over MTCS girls soccer 9-0. Let's skip ahead here to Thursday. Some action on Thursday. Middle school volleyball defeated Ezel Harding 2-0. And it was MTCS girls soccer, a 9-0 win over Ezel Harding. On the 22nd, which more Thursday action. Thursday was a busy day with some volleyball and football. Middle school, or let's go with 5th and 6th grade football, defeating DCA 44-18. And it was the middle school over DCA 46-0. And volleyball, a 3-0 win over Webb. That was on Thursday as well. And, of course, last night's football final, 42-20. So that's a look at all of the sports from this week. What's coming up? Well, a lot of things ahead here. Let's, first of all, head to, this weekend. You've got middle school boys tennis. They're playing in a preseason doubles tournament. Volleyball has the Cougar Classic going on. And then starting next week, you've got JV middle school volleyball taking on PCA and the middle school team as well. Girls middle school soccer versus Middle Tennessee Golden Eagles. All of that on Monday. On Tuesday, golf has a match with Webb. Also, middle school girls and boys tennis taking on Thurman Francis, and that'll be a home on Tuesday. Also Tuesday, JV volleyball will take on PCA, and middle school, JV middle school, and the middle school team battling Eagleville at home. Cross country middle school is at the Welch College MSCCA midweek meet. Also Thursday, varsity volleyball will battle PCA. It's soccer at White County, golf taking on Columbia Academy, and varsity volleyball versus BGA. Middle school girls and boys tennis will host Blackman as well on Thursday, as JV volleyball will battle BGA on the road, and JV middle school will host Webb. A lot of things going on Thursday.
Then we turn to football, and it's Good Pasture coming in to take on the 5th and 6th grade and middle school teams. Soccer will travel to Columbia Academy, and middle school volleyball will host Webb. Next Friday, of course, MTCS football hosting the Masters Academy. So that's a look at the busy week that is to come. So busy last week, busy this week. Of course, it's big time here in the fall with lots of things going on. That's your Cougar Corner scoreboard, and that will wrap up MTCS Cougar Corner this morning. And want to thank Coach Peterson for being here. Want to thank all of the coaches who've been here throughout the morning on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. And to my co-host today, John Dinkins and Danny Brewer. Our producer, Dalton Barrett, and you for listening in. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. Don't forget, WGNSSports.com. There's a podcast tab. You can listen back to all of the coaches. Follow us on Twitter or X at WGNS Sports Radio. And we send out all the podcasts there, wherever you listen to podcasts. Also with last night's game with Smyrna and Riverdale, you can listen or watch on YouTube, Facebook, and all of that is linked up in the podcast section of WGNSSports.com. Have a great Saturday, great weekend, and we'll see you back here next Saturday morning for the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner and MTCS Cougar Corner.
In choosing the right offer as well if you're getting multiple offers.